Welcome to Sunday Footy on ABC Sport. Matt Clinch with you. There's no late changes for Nam. The Demons taking on the Western Bulldogs this afternoon. The Dogs make 5 changes after losing to an emotionally charged Blues last week. Cleary, O'Donnell, Jakes, Croft and Treloar all come in, but there is no Tim English this afternoon for the almighty task against Max Gawn. While for the Demons, Caleb Windsor makes his return and Latrell Pickett will be managed for this afternoon. Ben Cameron to call the action alongside me. It is the final game of Sir Doug Nicholls round. Betty, welcome to you.
Hello, Clinchy. Great to be here. And, of course, there is a very strong connection with Sir Doug Nicholls round this year and the Western Bulldogs, Footscray. Michael Magic McLean, of course, started his career at Footscray. He was coached by our very own Mick Malthouse, and they had a beautiful reunion back on Friday night when he joined the commentary team for a chat. We've done a lot of Melbourne. We know just how good they are. 7 times this year they've gone past 100 points. The Western Bulldogs, they're on a skid. They've lost 5 of their last 6 and averaged 68 points during that period. So can they score enough to beat Melbourne, and can they stop the offensive weapons of the D's?
That's the question, isn't it? How far can the Demons go under Stephen King, who spent time at the Western Bulldogs under Luke Beveridge? Our Sunday team is assembled. Daniel Harford is back with you. Welcome, Harf.
G'day, gentlemen. How are you today, Conifera style? Nice to be with you. Looking forward to this clash because the Dogs have to say something about their season today, don't they? That's what they have to do.
Feels like we're getting to that point, doesn't it?
Yep. Couldn't agree more with myself.
Beautiful little lemon number you've got on today as well, Harf.
It's the Butter Lemon, the 1975 50-year anniversary edition of the Deepdene United Cricket Club winch heater. And I think you iron it off and you can't have it. It's pretty sexy and you know it.
What year did you say?
1975, 50-year anniversary, remake.
Looks like it's from the 1970s.
Well, that's exactly right.
That's the theory.
That's what it's for.
Yeah.
I feel like you knew the lemon jumper question was coming because you hit that off the half volley. It was a prepared statement. My name's Bob Murphy. I'm also here. I wasn't sure if the gents were going to...
I like you've taken over my job introducing yourself.
Well, I just wasn't sure if you were going to introduce me, but it's lovely to be in your company. I feel like balance is certainly restored in my life. That I'm with you gentlemen on the ABC on a Sunday afternoon at 3:15. The D's are playing.
Yes,
of course,
life
is always surprising. And they are coming up against the Western Bulldogs. But because if we've proven anything at 3:15 on a Sunday this year, we are professionals. I shall remain neutral.
Well,
and we'll watch an entertaining game of football.
We've barracked for the D's effectively because of the way they've played footy and engaged and entertained us all the way through the season so far. I don't know how you're going to cope today with your love for the D's. In fact, where were you last week, just by the way?
I got flipped around.
Oh.
Yeah. Flipped around.
We had a schedule change.
Yeah, there was a bit of logistics. I don't want to get into details, but I did Brett Deledio a favour. We'll see if I get one back before the season's out.
It's an important thing to call it in. Yeah, that's right. And Noah Roberts-Thompson, one of his players he manages, was featuring for the Tigers in his debut, so Bob did the right thing and changed the time slot. Matt Clinch, Ben Cameron, Lauren Borden on the boundary, Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy are your Sunday call team for Melbourne. Nam taking on the Western Bulldogs. You've sort of led us in beautifully. Bob, the D's wins over... Well, last week, Hawthorn, the Gold Coast Suns, the Brisbane Lions, they're doing a lot right under first-year coach Stephen King. And the question is can they maintain this form and for how long?
Yeah, well, I mean, we joke, but we have watched a fair bit of the Demons this year. I've watched 4. I'm not sure how many you guys have watched live. But I do feel like we're at the point now where the sample size is significant enough where the Stephen King stamp seems obvious. And if I was to pick out 2 things, and these are broad brushstrokes, but in terms of their ball movement, there's more adventure, but there's just less hesitation. You can see the players when they've got the ball in their hand. I used to call it the Melbourne Shuffle, where you'd see these good players get the ball and then jump around on the spot like they had ants in there. And that, to me, I wondered, have they got too much information in their head? Whereas it seems like Stephen King's been able to free them up, and that's been giving them a chance to play with more creativity. But I think more important than that, like just the foundation of effort, whenever I've watched them, and I'm sure they've had a couple of off weeks, but every time I've watched them, they play it out to the bell, and if they get a couple of goals kicked against them, they seem to get back on the horse really quickly.
The ceremony is going to take place below us in a couple of minutes' time. So, Half, you touched on it. I mean, the Bulldogs season is in the risk of collapsing at the moment. Some through injury, some through form. There's no Tim English this afternoon. So how will Luke Beveridge come up with an answer to challenge Max Gawn and Max Heath?
Well, he's tried it through selection, hasn't he, really, with 5 changes. I know there's been a couple of forced ones, but 5 changes is never an easy number of players to get back into your team and get cohesion. So that's the challenge for the Dogs. I mean, they were really disappointing last week. We thought the new coach bounce, the sugar hit of the new coach, the sack coach, new coach combo at Carlton might have given them something. It did. They backed that up last night. And you go back 2 weeks ago when they played Port Adelaide, they only beat them by 2 points, even though that was on the road. Carlton go over there and do a number on them last night. So the form's not great. So they've got to find a way forward. And forward's probably the key to the whole thing. That connection mid-forward has been a challenge. And they haven't been able to... 74 points and 62 points the last 2 weeks for a traditionally high-scoring team. That's a bit of a problem that's arisen in the last couple of weeks.
The players are gathering down below us.
Well, I like the arc.
It's nice.
And a little semicircle with one Bulldogs player next to one Melbourne player, and the Welcome to Country will take place in a few moments' time. So across 2 weeks, Sir Doug Nicholls round. This is the final match of the 2026 edition. Now I'm trying to continue with their hot start as they are 7-3 at the moment, and the Western Bulldogs at 5-5, desperately trying to get their season back on track. As the stadium lights have been dimmed, we did see the Western Bulldogs and Carlton ceremony, which was a real highlight that took place with the dancers getting involved, but more of a traditional ceremony. So we can take you downstairs.
To Marvel Stadium. As part of the AFL's Sir Doug Nicholls round, we look to celebrate the contribution of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island people to our great game. It is my pleasure to now welcome Senior Wurundjeri Elder Auntie Annette Shebris for a welcome to country.
Thank you. Welcome to the land of Wurundjeri and the home of the Western Bulldogs. I'd like to pay my respects to my people, the Wurundjeri people, Magic Mike, and in the name of reconciliation, we can't forget Dougie Hawkins, one of the people who work with us for gender equality and to stop racism in football. Thank you, Dougie. Marnook is one of the oldest sports played in Australia, now called the AFL, and it's the longest living cultural game played, and it was incorporated by a thing called AI, Aboriginal Intelligence. Welcome to the game. Go Doggies!
The Welcome to Country taking place and the official ceremony. Some
Thank
nice
you, Auntie
individual
Annette,
touches
for that
there
special welcome.
with a knock to the Western Bulldogs and their history and Sir Doug Hawkins. So it's the 11th year in which Sir Doug Nicholls has been the honorary name for the First Nations Indigenous round, and it is, as Ben Cameron may mention, a fortnight is celebrating Magic McLean, who featured for Brisbane Bears and, of course, Footscray, the Western Bulldogs.
Hang on.
Doug who?
Did you just knight Sir Doug Hawkins?
Yeah.
I did. He's a knighthood of the Western Suburbs.
No, it was all
Stuck
good.
the landing beautifully.
No, you're spot on. No,
Just
Sir
the work
Dougie.
he did for racism and
That's what I've always called
reconciliation,
him.
and Sir Doug Hawkins.
That's what I've always called him. I was just glad somebody else is on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
Sir Doug.
Sir Doug. The players are broken away and are warming up. The other part that has taken the words out of our mouth is the Giants with their third quarter against the Brisbane Lions. GWS 25-9-159 to Brisbane 12-10-82. So it was 14 unanswered goals in the third quarter as they led by 6 points at halftime and led by 89 points at three-quarter time. So as the history would have it, it's the highest scoring third quarter in VFL AFL history.
Well, I think 15 goals is the highest scoring quarter ever.
It is, yeah.
So 14's pretty good
In the AFL era.
in the AFL era. Yes,
Right,
yes.
yeah. You can go back to 1919. I think there was sort of there was a
The champion
scoring
data doing some stuff there.
Well, I was about to say 1919.
Yeah.
But,
just made sense.
if we're going to go into this in the numbers, let's get them right.
What was the number in 1919?
Oh, I'd have to check it again, but I think it was something like, it was over 100 points in a quarter. We'll have
thought
to
if
check
you
it. I think it was 106.
thought you-
I looked at it briefly,
up.
but I didn't write it down.
You've got to bring it up,
17
you
goals,
have an
wasn't it?
idea.
I think it was 17 goals.
I can check and come back to you.
He's stuck getting cords out of your bag. I've never seen a more entangled bunch of cords in my life.
It's emblematic of my life.
It was happening in your bags.
Not only the players on watch, but the commentators as well to start this match. So give us a few more thoughts as to the challenge as to how the Bulldogs try and get their season back on track. I think Stephen King has said that the job on Marcus Bontempelli might be a shared responsibility between Jack Steele and Tom Sparrow. So that's the way the Bulldogs will try and get back into it through their inspirational leader.
Yeah, he carries a lot of weight of their expectations, Marcus Bontempelli, and it seems like he's playing sword. Look at the tape there. He's not his usual light self across the ground at the moment. He's still performing because he is the champ, but he's having to do it through a fair bit of pain, one would imagine, at the moment. And just with the other injuries around, Tom Liberatore, he's such a valuable player, Tom Liberatore, not just in the structure and what he actually does, but just spiritually what he brings to that team and his intensity and his defensive pressure. So Marcus having to carry a fair bit. Ed Richards has been a bit of a dip from last year. He's had his own injury concerns. So there's players missing. It is a bit of a patchwork quilt. Having said that, that's what often brings out the best in Luke Beveridge's coaching, where he can, you often maybe can't see it on the page as obvious as it usually is, and he'll find a way to squeeze a bit more juice out of the lemon. But we'll see today because the D's have been in good touch.
Just to pick up on that, 17-4-106 South Melbourne against St Kilda, round 12, 19-19. Happy half? Don't have that.
It's all about
that's the highest ever scoring quarter.
Well, the thing that I can't see that's on the page, Bob, is someone that's going to take over Max Gawn's role in the middle of the ground and in the ruck. That's my worry. Tim English obviously been a huge out for the Doggies in the last month or so, but when you come into a game against Max Gawn and you're relying on Rory Lobb to get it done for you, and probably Jordan Croft a little pinch hit.
So
probably have to pinch hit, you'd reckon.
Bit of background here.
Yes.
Luke Beveridge, my fondness for Luke.
Yes.
He's more of a belief system than a coach.
Right.
That's you either believe or you doubt. Okay.
Yep.
My observations, know the man for a long time. He's what I would call a ruckist.
Right.
So he has different views on rucks.
What be they?
So
like Grant
he
Thomas
doesn't
views?
like just the traditional ruck role.
Right.
So today I was thinking, Max Gawn, best ruckman maybe we've seen in the modern era.
Yep.
Tim English out. I thought we might see some curveballs today. I don't know where he'll go. I think Rory Lobb will at the start, but I think we will see some unusual things.
So are you talking about even, like I'm imagining now, someone not contesting the tap and just stay down
I think
and
it's
try and outnumber something like that?
Let's just keep an eye on it, but I feel like at some point we may see some unusual roles in there and tactics around the ruck.
Well, there's a school of thought that having an unrecognised ruckman against a champion is actually beneficial because you're only dealing with two scenarios. They win it or it's a neutral. Whereas if you've got one that you think can compete, you're dealing with three. So you've got we win it, they win it, then there's a neutral. So actually limiting the options from 3 to 2 so you can plan a bit better if you want to go down that path. So there's an opportunity there that has been taken by some teams through the journey and has worked at times and has been exploited at times as well. So maybe the ruckist will have a plan.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's against them. It's just more of the orthodox way that a lot of people in footy view the role of the ruck.
It does challenge the Melbourne midfield, though, to make sure they are maximising from Max Gawn's dominance. If, say, for example, Joel Fraser is the ruck and he doesn't compete and just tries to shark the rove. So that'll be something to keep an eye on, given the tactic they had last week was that Rory Lobb was up against Mark Pitnet. Whenever Mark Pitnet came to the bench, Louis Emmett went in. He'd do for as long as Mark Pitnet was off the ground, and then they'd swap back over. But it does throw their system and their back line out of whack.
And it brings in also the option for Max just to spike the ball.
Or grab it and clear it. He'll have 15 clearances if that happens today.
It'll be an intrigue.
Because he's smart enough to see what's happening. He'll identify the other ruck's not going to jump if that's the case. And he'll just grab it and just pump it forward.
Rory Lobb started in the warm-up in the ruck, so I think they'll go with the more orthodox option to kick things off, but
it might be
for us to keep an eye on.
Who that second ruck is.
Yeah.
The other news was that Luke Beveridge said that Cody Waitman, who's trying to make his return from a long-term injury, might come straight back into the AFL. So it'll be interesting, the possibility to see him return, given he has missed so much footy. But Coach made the point that the conditioning staff do so much work, so with 5 on the bench you can pay 75% of the game time and try and manage your players as best you can. So that's another one to keep an eye on.
Only one Pickett today too.
Correct.
With Latrell being managed, it's a bit of a setback for the Pickett fans out there.
You don't like managed either. Is it a soft drop? Will he be out of the team next week after being managed this week?
Keep an eye on it, Benny.
We'll be keeping an eye. It's happened a lot this year. The managed, then not back in the next week, which suggests that they're just being dropped, as you say. It's the soft drop. But you can't hurt egos this time around, this generation.
Bumper bowling generation.
Yeah, bumper bowlers, exactly right.
If you dropped, you dropped. Omitted.
None of these guys would survive in this commentary box.
Nope.
The heat I cop from you two.
No, that's exactly right, and there's more coming. But it's, I must admit, when I get to that stuff and I analyse that stuff, I think about that. You actually get a bit out of being dropped, I reckon, rather than being managed. So we're just going to give you a rest this week. You can actually get a bit about being dropped and going back and working on your craft and finding form and touching the footy and feeling good about yourself again, rather than being up here at the top level and not impacting and feeling rubbish and disappointing your mates, so you think. Not that they would ever think that, but that's what you think. Being dropped is not a bad thing.
Do you know what? Being dropped and even having a significant injury, do you know what it does? It takes the game away from you for a little bit, and you think, oh, geez, I didn't realise how much I missed it and how much I actually want it. It asks you the question, how much do you want it? So, yeah, I'm not such a fan of it. Just one thing, I was on the train with a lot of Bulldog supporters on the way in. They were worried, and I think generally key forwards love playing against the Bulldogs' defence, and Jacob Van Rooyen, who we've had a good look at this year, he doesn't have Brody Myercheck down there, but when he turns it on, he can light it up.
It's got Harrison Petty.
That'll be the challenge. Lauren Borden's the final member of our team in the front row this afternoon. Welcome to you, Loz.
Thanks, Clinchy. It's lovely to be down here. Probably about a crowd of 32,000 expected today, so about double of what was here yesterday to watch that grandstand finish. So a good crowd coming in for the start of this match. Western Bulldogs kicking towards the locket end in the first term.
Thanks, Loz. It's round 11 of the AFL. The Demons looking to continue to deliver against the Western Bulldogs. Here's Ben Cameron.
Gorn and lob. Gorn wins it down, ripped off it there, Richards. Onto it, Steele, the opening clearance of the game. High tower and kick inside 50 for the D's. Bounces on its point. Back beyond the arc. Kennedy onto it. Handball back into the congestion. Sparrow rushes a kick towards full forward. Coming out, Buku Karmas wins the footy. Tackled to ground by Sharp. And a ball up, 35 out from the attacking goal for the D's.
So if that's not a sign of intent from Max Gorn, I don't know what is. Jumps in, left hand, flicks it to the back of his head. He knows he's in for a day.
Gorn tries to take another rock. His hand pass is chopped off by Kennedy, though. Gave it to Bontempelli. Kicks it around his body, up towards half-back, but that's where N. Langdon takes the mark, hugging it to his chest.
We talked about Max Gorn's fourth quarters for a lot of this year, but he looks like he's in a mood to rip this first quarter open.
Langdon long towards Van Rooyen, who tries to juggle the mark. Umpire waves play on. He's tackled immediately by Kennedy and Selwood, and he tries to plead his case to the umpire, thinking he had a clean touch of it. Thrown up just 25 metres out from Melbourne's goal. Gorn down to Pickett. Cosy can't get a clean hand pass away. Steele can't clear the congestion, and eventually it's Ed Richards for the Dogs. Sends it up to Riley West at half-back. Worked off it in the end by Tholstrup. Loose hand pass, opens the door for Norton. He gathers, hand pass away to West. He just loses the footy though and has to go back in and win it. Tholstrup lays the tackle. Quick hand pass from Rivers. Gets it away from half-back. Howes gives it to Langdon. And now Sparrow, who can get a hand pass away in the clearing kick from Turner.
Turner's high ball towards the wing, launching out at Petty. Over the back it goes. Richards there for the Dogs. He'll turn, handball to Bontempelli, back feeds it to Bailey Dale. He'll kick laterally to Caulfield, not the required distance. Back to Bailey Dale. Kicks to his housemate, Buku Karmas at fullback. Dogs with it as Karmas kicks out wide and finds Selwood. No relation to the famous footy family, different spelling. 2 L's for Michael Selwood as he kicks up to the wing and turns it over. Now he slides into mark on the wing for the D's.
If he's selling that, we're not buying it. That kick.
Bowie over the top to Chandler. Has it at left half forward for Nam. As he looks for the lead of Cozzy Pickett into space. Got underneath it. Dropped the mark. Connor Butterick gathers for the Dogs. Hand pass to Treloar. Away to Bailey Dale. Sends a kick up the wing. On the bounce for Croft. Cannon into in the end by Lever. Umpire says there was a hold there and it will be a Western Bulldogs free kick.
You can't do that, Rick.
Coming back to Croft on the wing. He can go short to Sanders, just 15 as he marks in front of Sparrow and then plays on immediately around him on the mark. Gains a few extra metres, drives it inside 50. Riley West tries to get on the back of Max Gorn. Went up before acceptances and Tholstrup takes the mark for the Demons. Kicks out to half-back, and Sharp will run on the loose ball. Takes a bounce at right half-back, and now a second as he advances past halfway towards half-forward. Jefferson, the target, reaches up and claims the mark. Cozzy's the deepest forward. He instead waits it, looking for Harrison Petty, who leads away from Buku Karmas and slides in front of Bailey Dale to take the mark.
Small great transition. Petty was up here on the wing in front of us as the ball came out from half back, and he just lengthened on the ground, got back as far as he could. They had a really good ball into the middle, just the top of the arc. Whoever it was for the D's who kicked that, I can't quite remember, was it?
Sharp to Jefferson.
Sharp to Jefferson, yeah, it was a beauty. Had two options. That was the most dangerous one, the most damaging one. So again, the mindset of the D's is to pull the trigger on the things that are going to create opportunities for them.
As a forward last week, booted 3 goals against the Hawks. Harrison Petty looking to continue his role in this Melbourne forward line. Right forward pocket, 45-degree angle. From about 25 metres out, he starts at left and misses. So behind for Nam, the Bulldogs yet to score. 4 minutes gone in the opening quarter, while the Giants have defeated the Brisbane Lions by 78 points.
Wow.
Bailey Dale with the kick in. Steele gets a hand on it, but it ends up with Bontempelli. Sweeps the handball to Bramble. Dogs quickly down the dockside wing. West kicks up to half forward, overshoots Jones. Tracking it back. Howes here for the D's. Back flank. Steps around Artie Jones. They'll kick the Demons back up to the wing. Petty and Karmas. Caulfield comes in, third man up, and helps out with a fist over the boundary line. Throwing to come. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Round 11 from Docklands.
As we welcome audiences who joined us a few moments ago from that match, Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron calling the action. Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford, your experts. Lauren Borden on the boundary. It's the Demons leading by a point.
Shallow throw in from the boundary umpire. Gorn palming it down. Richards is there. U-turn onto his right boot. He's non-preferred. Kicks inside 50. The D's are there though through Lever, who marks 48 metres out. Said in a write-up in the paper today that he believes this is his best career form since 2021, their premiership year, and his All-Australian year.
Couldn't pay him enough to go to Arden Street, he said.
Averaging 16 disposals and 8 marks.
See that?
As Langdon works his way out of a pickle, kicks it up the wing, and Max Gorn takes the mark against Rory Lobb. Cassius King,
that
isn't
quote?
it?
So
Is that an actual quote?
He said somebody said they saw me at Arden Street. You couldn't pay me enough to drive to Arden Street.
Gee whiz.
That's what he said.
Cop that, the Kangaroos fans. The kick from Gorn up towards Petty and Jefferson. Off hands, it goes out of play and a throw in at right half forward for the Demons.
Strong and direct feedback.
No shin bone of spirit for
Jake Lever, no.
Yeah,
Well, Kangaroos had the last laugh yesterday, didn't they?
I did.
Nam sitting 7-3 in their season. They're 6th on the ladder under first-year coach Stephen King, while the Bulldogs are 5-5. Having won their first 4 matches, they've lost 5 of their last 6. Gorn just whacks it forward against Rory Lobb into the path of Sharp. He's tackled by Butterick and Kennedy and seen over the boundary line for a throw-in.
Sounds a bit overly defensive for mine.
Oh, I doth protest too much, you think? See, Ben sees and hears things that very few other people do.
It's a special ear he's got.
Yeah.
Melbourne by a point. Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford, your experts. Throw in Lobb and Max Gorn, both with hands on it. Richard zipping through, Cozzy Pickett right there with him. Sanders goes in. In the end, it's extracted by Rivers. Handball out towards Gorn. Handball over his head and knocked out of play. So a throw in right from where we started. Melbourne by a point. We played 6.5 minutes. Only that minus game.
Adam Treloar playing in just his second game of 2026. We saw him in the VFL half. He's had numbers of 33, 40 and 27, but questions around his hamstrings, whether he can get through a game at that high level.
Hope you can. We saw a few hamstring issues in the Giants game today against the Brisbane Lions.
He's alongside Jack Steele from this throw-in. Gorn gets it down. Rivers over his head, trying to get it to Sparrow. Butterick's in the middle, trying to knock it away for the Bulldogs. Footy is stuck underneath him, and the umpire will ball it up. So
throwing going on.
There is.
Makes me sick.
Nam one behind. The Bulldogs yet to score. 7 minutes gone in the opening term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Ed Richards out of the stoppage, up towards McNeil at half forward. Loose hand pass to Kennedy. Regathers. Hand pass to Sanders. Clever kick from the outside of the boot. Looking for Norton just over the fingertips of Turner. Hand pass to the run of Richards. At left half forward. Sends it along to West in the goal square. And that's much more like the Bulldogs fans would want to see. Riley West streaming out of the goal square, and Ed Richards a superb pass.
That would excite the Bulldogs supporters, not just because it ended up in the hands of Riley West 20 metres out from goal, but Matthew Kennedy got involved. We talk a lot about Marcus Bontempelli, and for good reason, but Matthew Kennedy probably hasn't found the standard that he had last year. So if he could recapture some of that form, and then when the ball's in Ed Richards' hands in that sort of spot, he's all class.
Riley West for the left forward pocket for the opening goal of the match. He puts it through for the Dogs. And they take the lead at the 8-minute mark. They're 1 straight 6 to Melbourne, 1 behind. 8 goals, 8 so far as we enter round 11 for Riley West. He had 18 goals by round 10 last season. So down on his output, but it has been a challenge for the Dogs with so many changes in their lineup, most notably the absence of Sam Darcy.
Yeah, and there's a nice finish, nice passage of play. I love the involvement of Riley Sanders. He's a young man that I reckon has really developed in the last month or so for the Bulldogs. Hasn't certainly gone to plan for the team, but I think he's really grown, given some more opportunity. It was just a nice, deft little kick coming out of that transition at half-back to find Aaron Norton in the one-on-one, and then you got your overlap and it's curtains. It was Ed Richards, as you said, with ball in hand, and that scenario is not going to make too many blues. So nice work. I like Riley Sanders. I think he's a fine young talent. Good moment for him.
Lob gets over the top of Gawn here, and Bontempelli soccering to his own advantage. High free kick picked out, and it will go the way of the D's. I think Tom Sparrow will be the recipient. He will. Umpires Fisher, Jones, Stevens and Birch in charge of this fixture. Sparrow drives it inside 50, marking contest. Karmas punches it away. Bontempelli there for the Dogs. Gets rid of it to Butterick. Kicks out wide. Bouncing ball. Lever will get there first. Lewis right there with him. Lever fumbles it out. Throw in on the wing. Half, talk to me about the throws that you're seeing around the competition and here today, and what don't you like about them?
Well, the hand that's holding the ball should be stationary or thereabouts when you punch the ball. It's a punch. The handball is a punch of the ball from your stationary hand.
Too much motion.
Well, why does the other hand have to be stationary? Isn't it just
relative?
Punch? Isn't it just a punch?
Well, because by nature, when you punch the ball, the hand holding the ball will be more than often than not stationary.
Lob down to Bontempelli, McNeil. Come back to you. Sanders gets the hand pass away.
Can't be slinging it forward.
Involved. The hand pass to Jakes, drives him inside 50. Norton against the field. Jaff helped bring it down, and now Steele lays the tackle. Umpire gives it a few moments to try and work out where the ball's going to come clear at one in the left forward pocket.
Sounds like a good half serious for the ABC AFL Daily podcast.
Just the way you
today.
looked at me, I thought, are you talking about punching the ball or me? You got really aggressive there for a moment.
Just stand by.
Lob wins down the tap. There's a call to arms. A notice warning. Fraser across the top of the 50 looking for Bailey Dale. He dodges one way, then the other gets around Bailey Fritsch. Inside 50. Richards leaning back, takes the mark in front of Norton, who came leading out. Jack Steele couldn't get a hand to it. And Ed Richards, having set up the first shot on goal, now gets a chance to go back and try and kick one himself.
Gee, that was a bit easy for the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Bailey Dale just able to turn on a dime. Not sure if Bailey Fritsch's pressure there was absolutely A1, and then Ed Richards marks in between a couple of demons that maybe could have gone a bit harder.
Ed Richards comes in from the right forward pocket and makes it 2 to start the match for the Dogs. 2 straight 12 to Melbourne, 1 behind. 11 minutes gone in the opening quarter. Ed Richards so far this season averaging 24.3 disposals and 5 clearances, as opposed to last year where he was up towards 26 disposals plus a career best 22 goals, but he has one early here at Docklands. Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford, your experts.
Well, they've used the ball pretty well, haven't they? The Dogs, even in confined spaces like we saw on that occasion, but all up and down the ground. They've been relatively clean and decisive with their ball movement, and they've backed their skills in. It's nice to see a forward showing from the Dogs. They're really putting it to the D's at the moment and making them pay on counter-attack in particular.
Melbourne have been a slow starting team in 2026. They've only won 3 opening terms. They do an expansive warm-up. About an hour before the game, there's pods, there's silhouettes out on the ground, there's players doing different drills, but they've started games poorly. Heath in the ruck, taps it on, Steele hacks it out of there towards full forward, very nearly Petty. Doesn't quite hang on to the mark, and he's wrapped up, a ball up, 20 metres out from the attacking goal.
A great purchase from Jack Steele on that volley.
Started the game well, Jack Steele. Been busy early. Heath knocks it away onto a Kennedy there for the Dogs. Fraser worried out of it. Still the ball bobbles around. Bailey Laurie gets a handball forward, and Karmas hurries the kick. It lands fortuitously in the lap of Marcus Bontempelli, and the Dogs beyond the defensive arc.
Moves it through hand to Sanders and now to Kennedy. Gets it back to Cleary at half back, and now a chance for the Bulldogs to build. Running around the boundary line is Bramble. Sends it up towards half forward. It gets to McNeil, who takes the mark. He's between wing and half forward for the Dogs with players streaming past. chips it short to West, looks into the pocket. That's where Jakes is. And Lockie Jakes takes the mark hard against the boundary line, but in the right forward pocket. There's a lot to like about the Bulldogs early.
Just from the last line of defence, that's in the goal square with Karmas is where this started. The D's can't lay a glove on them.
Clearance is 7-3 also, the way of the Dogs early. It's a stat in which we expected Melbourne would dominate Narm this afternoon. And this will take a good effort in the end from Lockie Jakes, who hasn't kicked a goal so far in his career, and he still hasn't, as he missed everything to the near-hand side. And out of bounds on the full. The Bulldogs leading by 11 points over Narm. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron call the action. Lauren Borden down on the boundary. Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy, your experts, after the Giants are winners by 78 points over the Brisbane Lions.
There's a really weird breeze down in that pocket where it was kicked from. It's a bit of a mystery. Doesn't make any sense.
It's the Adam Ramanauskas dead pocket. He's had that theory for years. Do you second it?
Yeah.
So there is, in an indoor stadium, a bizarre breeze in that pocket.
Some sort of wind tunnel. There's physics involved.
Rama's been big on that for a long time here on ABC Sport. All up on the wing. Windsor going in for the D's. Throws it out. Umpire lets them rumble. Caulfield onto it. Sanders. Dogs ball. Bramble hurries a kick into that pocket again. Over the head of the targets. It bounces into the pocket. Holding free kick.
Absolutely.
And I think Lewis is going to get it here for the Dogs.
All over him, Disco Turner.
Well, if anyone can work out the physics of this pocket, it might be the engineer, Will Lewis, the mature age pick-up for the Dogs. Looks like he's going to go the set snap on the left from 45. He curls it through. He knew the angles. And he worked it out, Will Lewis. And the Dogs have come out snarling. 3 straight 18. Plays one behind. A quarter hour into the opening term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Well, it's been a pugnacious start from the Bulldogs. It's been a spicy start from Daniel Harford in the box as well. A few little verbal jabs towards me. But that was a glorious finish. The free kick was slightly questionable.
I'm over the shoulder, I think.
Yeah, you're okay with that? Yeah. I think that's pretty lucky there. But in terms of navigating that tricky breeze in that pocket...
No breeze.
Lewis snaps. That is a beautiful kick of the football. There's a breeze down there, Half. You need to accept this. It's physics, my friend.
When I was playing against Nathan Brown here that afternoon, there was no breeze. Although we did meet each other at the centre wing at the start, so let's have 30 each and see at the end.
Now that I do believe.
First 3 the way of the Dogs is trying to get the hand pass away. Heath having followed up his ruck work. Sparrow gets it forward. Here's a chance for Chandler. Edge of the centre square. Shins the kick inside 50. Van Rooyen presents. Can't gather with Buku Karmas in trail. Selwood's hand pass chopped off by Petty. Hand pass to Laurie. Bounces through Melbourne's first. Just a few skill errors from the Bulldogs, and Melbourne quick to pounce and have their opening goal 16 minutes into the opening quarter. The Dogs 3 straight 18 to Narm 1-1-7. The margin is 11 points the Doggies' way. As Ben May mentioned, Melbourne have been slow starters, winning just 3 first quarters in 2026. The Dogs have gone the other way. They've won 7 of their opening quarters this year. Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford, your experts.
Yeah, he's had a couple of shaky moments already, Michael Selwood, just with the ball over the ground ball there, head over it. Just needed to take it cleanly, either find a teammate, or probably the more percentage play was just to roll into the tackle and get a ball up, cough the ball up, and it ends up just being the easiest of goals. Just not quite strong enough over that ground ball, Michael Selwood.
Interesting setup for the D's forward. They've got 2 keys that play deep, and the other guys play really high up the arc. Petty's in the middle of it at the moment. It's a bit of a change up with Maxi Gawn going forward.
Yeah, he's come off the bench and gone forward. Heath taps it down. Cozzy Pickett bursts out of there, kicks up to half forward.
Oh, Max 1-on-1.
Gawn and Karmas 1-on-1 on the square. Get it to him.
Gives it off towards Cozzy Pickett. Kicks to the goal square. Low down. Buku Karmas picks it off. Dogs on the last line. Caulfield away to Bailey Dale. Back to Caulfield. Defensive goal square. Gets it to Butterick. Left foot kick neat. And he works it out. Away to Cooper Hines in the left back pocket here, the Dogs. They lead by 11 points, 17 minutes travelled opening term.
Hines sends it up the wing in the direction of Riley West, and Jakes in the end. Max Heath takes the mark for the Demons. Narm 1-1-7, trailing the Dogs 3 straight 18. Heath with a high kick inside 50. Gawn's in the pack, can't get a run at it. In from the side was Harrison Petty. Spills to ground level. Hand pass came out to Dale, and now from Hines at the back pocket, up towards the wing, options on the wing. Jake's bumped off it. Jaff gets a hand pass
that
away.
might be on the full, yeah.
Tholstrup's kick ricochets out on the full.
Shinage. It's been a big afternoon for Shins already. Shin
Umpire
bonus
said
spirit.
it's above the knee, so it's going to be a boundary throw in.
I'm sure it was.
No.
It's above the knee, goes into the crowd.
Yeah.
Not below. Anyway, play on.
Wouldn't want him adjudicating the height on my LBW decisions. Throw in. Heath palming it down beautifully to the front. Sanders ends up with it rolled in the tackle.
Only if you're batting, Benny. If you're bowling, you'd be flat.
Well, I didn't get an awful lot of bounce, which wouldn't surprise you half if I was bowling.
I could turn it off glass.
Sanders gets rid of it to Hines from the back flank for the Dogs, kicking to the wing. And Lewis marks out in front. Held up by Chankworth Jath. Umpire Birch says no 50. Lewis takes the advantage. Pokes the Dogs to half forward. Kennedy marks. He might have taken a step. All good, says the umpire. So kick long and deep
Good
towards full forward. Down there is Croft. Doing really well in the end lever. But it works out for Treloar. Snaps on goal. Across the goal mouth and through for a minor score. Dogs lead by 2 goals neat. 18 minutes played in this first term Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
So they're first to leave contest, the Dogs, at the moment. That's why they're getting forward of the footy really easily. The D's just a bit flat on their heels defendingly and in transition at the moment.
Bowie brought it back in for Melbourne. Into the back pocket for Langdon to Howes, and now back to Bowie. They switch across the defensive goal face when Lever takes the mark and Cozzy Pickett runs into space. Marks in the right back pocket.
Kick.
What a kick to Jaff, who gathered on the half volley. Turns into the middle of the ground where Sparrow is leading at him. That's what Melbourne do well, just change the angles. They kick to half back. Bowie takes the mark. Has a loose player across half back. It's Howes at left half back. He looks up the wing. Sends it long in the direction. Well, and in the end, Selwood was well positioned and set too much of a challenge for Windsor to try and come across. The Demons with a chance, the Bulldogs with a chance from half back.
A long kick around the wing. Flying in front, Turner brings it down for Jath, who slaps it on in the end. Langdon back feeds a handball. Away to Howes. It goes back to Turner. Turner wants to go with the V switch right back towards fullback and Lever. So Lever at fullback. Won't go with the switch. Will instead poke it back to Turner on that left back flank. Out on the city side of the ground here at Docklands. Kicks out to Jaff and it's intercepted by Bramble. Bulldogs ball again on the Go Foundation logo. They lead by 12 points as Bramble comes infield to Dale.
He gets the hand pass away to Caulfield and goes short to Treloar, still inside the centre square for the Bulldogs. Veers out to the right. Laurie offers chase, sends it long into the pocket. Turner trying to get back and gets a hand onto it to spoil it away from Jakes and Norton in the right forward pocket for the Dogs.
I know it's only relatively early in the contest half, but Demons, MCG team, Dogs, this is their home. It just looks like sometimes the D's are a bit too willing to go wider as they normally would at the MCG, and the Dogs are they're both moving the ball quickly, but the Dogs going forward.
Heath's tapped down, sharp by Ed Richards. Hand pass too slick in the end for Fraser, and Cozzy Pickett takes it back for Melbourne. Kicks to Chandler at left half back.
Chandler going for a little gallop. Has Langdon running by, loops him the handball. Doesn't get to him on the full. Comes to chop it off Bramble. And out of play for a throw in on the wing. Just want to pick up on that. In fact, it was Cleary who was tackled out. What you said there, Bob. So Melbourne used the corridor the least when taking the ball out of D50. So they tend to use the wings.
Yep.
So you're right on it with your eye. The numbers backing up what you're seeing here as Lobb slaps it forward for the Dogs. Gathered by Kennedy between wing and half forward. Driving kick to full forward. Jats one out, goes up. Lands awkwardly, wins a free kick. At his arms chopped. So the D's ball at fullback, going by the moniker of Nam. The Bulldogs 3-1-19, Melbourne 1-1-7. We're in time on in the first term.
They've got such great runners, Melbourne, in their team. That's why they can do it at the MCG. But you can sit off a little bit here at Docklands. And the Dogs know this venue well, of course. If we get the ball out in the full.
Jake Bowie tried to deliver off a step, failed to hit the target.
That kick would have been in play at the MCG half, so just puts an exclamation on what we're talking about.
Out on the full, Jakes takes it into the pocket. Norton leads, can't take the mark with Jaff in tow. Turner gets a hand pass to Bowie in the back pocket to Windsor. Hand pass over the top for the D's, and Sparrow's kick is smothered by Adam Treloar. It goes out of play. The Dogs 3-1-19 to Melbourne 1-1-7. The Bulldogs with the first 3 goals of the match. The D's with the last. Little
Melbourne chant just reverberating around Docklands. earlier on today. GWS kicking 14 goals unanswered in the third term against Brisbane to win big over the reigning premiers. Lobb takes it out of the ruck, high kick inside 50, and Turner goes back, takes the mark in the right back pocket.
It's a good grab.
One of the most improved players in the competition. Dan Disco Turner kicks across the goal mouth to the opposite back pocket. Jath takes it for the Demons, kicks out to the wing, looking for Sharp, right there with him, Bailey Dale. And the ladder spoils it out, throwing neutral territory on the City wing.
Love to see him take more ground there, CJ. A lot of ground in front of him, pulled the trigger on the one-on-one further up the field. That's fine if this guy's sitting there all by himself, but if you've got a one-on-one, it's going to be 50-50 on the boundary.
Too wide and too conservative, the D's at the moment.
Yeah, he might as well take the extra 30.
Thrown in, Heath and Lobb, tangle it, socket off the ground by Sparrow. Sharking it forward is Sharp, trying to get it up towards Harrison Petty. Gathers in front of Selwood, but his hand pass chopped off. Richards takes it back for the Dogs.
Good for
hand
Richards.
pass to Bailey Dale. Looks up to Sanders. They've got players on the overlap. Lukes the hand pass over the top to Treloar in the right forward pocket. The leader's on from Will Lewis, not 15. And he's tackled immediately and brought down by Jake Lever.
It's fair enough when you realise where he kicked it and where he marked it. It's about 4.5.
He's got no confidence in his...
Do I have to retract my groan?
No, keep growing.
Okay.
Thrown up in the right forward pocket for the Dogs.
I'll go
Treloar's
for that.
onto it. Tackle brought down. Spills out to Sanders. Centering ball looking for Norton in the pack. Spoiled away from him. Bowie leads the foot race. He gathers. Pulls his kick looking for Jacob Van Rooyen. He marks in the middle of Docklands.
Got no support really.
So thumps it long.
That's a
Bailey
good kick.
Fritsch
Through
back
ball.
leading towards goal. Can't cut it the first time. Can't the second either. Has to slide. Get to his feet again. Gets the snap away, but buffeted off it by Karmas. High kick to full forward. Up they go. Petty doesn't mark. At the fall of the ball, O'Donnell. Handball out towards Cooper Hines. The D's swarm. Petty tackles. Has him wrapped up. Umpire wants it. Ball up left forward pocket here for the D's.
That was a through ball to Fritsch. Now, he couldn't grab it for Demons fans, but it was a beautiful delivery.
Bulldogs by 12. Gone the tap, but Sanders steals it. Back pocket for the Dogs. Clearing kick to the wing.
Sends it up to 2-on-2s. Up on the wing. Lewis brings it down for the Dogs. Trying to knock it away from Jefferson. Hand pass came out to Norton, and now they're away. Hand pass out in front of Artie Jones. Coming the other way, Jefferson. Jones slips over. And now ran into a tackle from Jaff, who hit him with pace, and the umpire's going to pay holding the ball. Artie Jones, the challenge of trying to take on one, but then Jaff came with such speed and aggression.
Got him high, surely.
Dogs fans certainly saw it that way. Free kick Melbourne's way as Jaff sends it to Langdon. He marks at half back.
You've seen the replays clobbered him across the chops. That's a bad miss.
Jath wants to bring it out towards the dockside wing. Bowie accepts it.
What are these D's doing?
He'll move it on to Fritsch and then Langford. Now it's doing up
Something's going on with Bailey Fritsch today. Looks a bit off to me.
You're right.
there. Fritsch chips it over the top to Langford. This young, impressive wingman wheels around, kicks long towards full forward. Pack forms, down in front. Jefferson gets it on the boot. Great goal-saving smother, Rory Lobb. It ricochets away to O'Donnell. Hurries a clearing kick, doesn't exit the 50. And Langford juggles it down. He marks for the D's, 47 metres out on a 45-degree angle. And this man is growing right before our very eyes.
Good mark by Langford. We'll see if he's got the journey in him. He'll have to kick right on 50. But I want to go back after this kick just to what we saw on the wing, because it did involve Harvey Langford and a teammate of his, Bailey Fritsch. Just a bit of an unnecessary mix-up that it might be something more than it is, or it might have just been an off moment from Fritsch.
Langford will put his laces through it from 50. Starts at left. He's not going to bring it back enough. It will fall short and be punched through by the son of Simon, James O'Donnell, reaching up to knuckle it through. Dogs lead 10 points nearing the end of the opening term.
So the quick version of what happened is that Langford's on his own by a mile on the wing. He's asking for the ball. He's the obvious option, and he's screaming at Fritsch to don't come into this space. I've got it. You make space further down the field, and Fritsch, totally oblivious, ends up taking the mark. Just didn't even know he was there. And you can see Langford screaming at him.
Or totally ignored him.
For a few seconds.
How many goals is he on, Bailey Fritsch?
Bailey Fritsch.
Milestone coming up?
He is on 14 goals of the season, 302.
So nothing happening. Just
from 180 games.
Why he's so keen. Like, it was no reason for him to get involved in that passage play.
He was totally oblivious to his teammate. It was just unusual.
Yeah, I reckon you're right.
Dale's kick to the half-back line. Kenny thought he had enough of the mark. Bowie sport out of play. From the stoppage, it's knocked out of play. And Jakes can't keep it alive.
Oh, I don't even mean this as a criticism because he's a brilliant player, Bailey Fritsch, but he is that kind of player, isn't he? Like, when he's on, he's really on. And when he's not, he sort of has...
Every now and then there's the other Bailey.
Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford, your experts. Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron calling the action. Lauren Borden down on the boundary. Gawn thumps it down towards the boundary line. Kennedy gathers it. First hand pass not back to him, and Jack Steele lays the tackle to lock him up between wing and half forward for the Demons. The Bulldogs 3-1-19 to Nam 1-2-8. 28 minutes gone, opening term.
Gawn taps it down, does his own roving. He's tackled out by Kennedy. So a boundary throw-in.
So we'll keep an eye on the use of Max Gawn today. He spent a lot of time forward when he came back on this quarter. He's just jumped back into the ruck. I'm not sure that's the best use of Maxi Gawn today against unrecognised ruckman.
Dogs by 11. Lob and Gawn go for a little wrestle. Gawn brings it down. Heavy collision. Chandler coming through. Sockers it inside 50. Chaos ball. Buku Karmas attacks it. He's bracketed by a couple of Ds quickly. And wrapped up for a ball up. 25 out from the attacking goal here for Nam Melbourne. Doggies by 11 late in the first.
Good by Karmas, just to hold that ball in.
On Gawn watch here as he tries to take it out of the ruck. Can't get a clean disposal away. Spills out Langford's way. Hand pass to Windsor. Hemmed into the right forward pocket. Curls it back towards Jefferson. The two defenders, Karmas and O'Donnell, see it out of play for a boundary throw in. Right forward pocket for Nam. It's the Bulldogs by 11.
Even there, that should have been a feedback from Windsor to Bowie. It wasn't.
Just a little. They look a little bit more disconnected than I've seen them so far this year, the Ds.
39-point winners over Hawthorn last week. 7-3 at the moment. The Demons has gone over the back to Langford, who curls it on his left. On the bounce, it misses to the right-hand side. Van Rooyen was in the goal square alongside Caulfield, but it was the wrong side of the right goal post and through for a minor score. The Bulldogs lead by 10. 29 minutes gone, opening quarter. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Caulfield kicks up the middle for Bob.
Oh, you can't do that.
50.
That is clumsy with a capital C.
And Rooyen just sticking in a mitt where he shouldn't have. So Bont into the middle of the ground. Just forward of the bullseye.
Oh, Norton.
He'll feed the handball off to a teammate running by in Caulfield, who sets it up towards full forward. Jones in front, doesn't mark, and knocks it out of McNeil's hands. Still they go. West burrows in, handball out. But there to clean up. Jefferson for the Ds, gets rid of it. Away towards Steele, who kicks out wide to Bailey Fritsch. The Dogs by 10 points, and the Ds with it on their left half back flank.
In the long sleeves this afternoon, Bailey Fritsch up to Van Rooyen, used his strength to get rid of Karmas. He marks centre wing on the outer side. The Bulldogs by 10 points. He veers out to the right and kicks a high ball in the direction of who? Cosy Pickett's really outnumbered and dropping the mark was O'Donnell. A chance from Melbourne. Hand pass was sharp. Chopped off by Selwood of the Dogs. Hand pass away to Caulfield and then feeds it back to Bailey Dale. Hugs the kick around the boundary line and Jakes takes the mark, and that'll do us for the opening quarter.
Stephen King will be keen to have a chat to these boys.
Might be a few sharp messages coming the Demons' way because it's the Bulldogs who lead by 10 points at quarter time. 3-1-19 to Melbourne 1-3-9. The Dogs booted the opening 3 goals of the match to West, Richards and Lewis before Melbourne kicked the final one through Bailey Laurie. While earlier it was the GWS Giants with one of the big upsets defeating the Brisbane Lions by 78 points. It's the highest score of the season through 2026 as the Giants put on 26-10, 166 to Brisbane 13-10, 88. And the 14 goals in which they scored in the third quarter to the Lions 3 behinds was the highest score ever in VFL AFL history in a third quarter. The Giants going on to win by 78 points. You can get in touch with us on the SMS 0437 74774. If you've got a thought or a comment for Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy, this is Sunday Footy on ABC Sport.
Origin 1 is on ABC. Join us Wednesday night from 7 as the Men's Origin Series kicks off for 2026. Origin 1 will be at Stadium Australia. Live and free Origin Footy on ABC Listen. On ABC Local Radio, Sport Digital, and on ABC Listen. This is Sir Doug Nicholls Round. with ABC Sport.
Loose hand pass to Kennedy, regathers, hand pass to Sanders, clever kick from the outside of the boot, looking for Norton just over the fingertips of Turner, hand pass to the run of Richards, and left half forward, sends it long to West in the goal square. Riley West for the left forward pocket for the opening goal of the match, he puts it through for the Dogs. Dodges one way, then the other gets around Bailey Fridge, inside 50, Richards leaning back, takes the mark in front of Norton. Ed Richards comes in from the right forward pocket and makes it 2 to start the match for the Dogs.
Over the head of the targets, it bounces into the pocket, holding free kick.
Absolutely.
And I think Lewis is going to get it here for the Dogs. So he's going to go the set snap on the left from 45. He curls it through. He knew the angles. And he worked it out, Will Lewis. And the Dogs have come out snarling.
Sparrow gets it forward. Here's a chance for Chandler, edge of the centre square. Shins the kick inside 50. Van Rooyen presents. Can't gather with Buku Kamas in trail. Selwood's hand pass chopped off by Petty. Hand pass to Laurie. Bounces through Melbourne's first.
This is Sir Doug Nicholls Round on ABC Local Radio, Sport Digital, and on ABC Listen.
Quarter time at Docklands in the final game of Sir Doug Nicholls Round across 2 weeks, and it's the Bulldogs who lead early against Narm 3-1-19 to the Demons 1-3-9. Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron calling the action. Lauren Borden down on the boundary. The thoughts of our experts, Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy.
It's been a pretty lethargic start from the Melbourne Footy Club. Not used to seeing that in 2026. They've shown heart all year of being able to bounce back, so I expect them to respond after this quarter-time break. But the Bulldogs, who were so at home under the roof here at the Docklands, they look sharp. And you mentioned it a couple of times, Half, of just the Bulldogs' ability to leave the stoppage and leave the Demons in their wake. And they've been able to go quickly but more direct to the goals. They look to be moving forward and looking forward and taking that first option forward whenever they possibly can. And the Demons, they just look like they haven't quite made the adjustment from the MCG out in the elements to footy under the roof, because it's just a bit slow. They're a bit on their heels. And even when they've got the ball, they just seem not as connected as they have been in the first half of this footy season, which has been one of the highlights, where their awareness of each other and their appreciation for each other, it was just off in that first quarter. And the mids of the Western Bulldogs, we always talk about Marcus Bontempelli, and Marcus looks like he's in fine touch, but the support that he's got today, Ed Richards looks like he's back to his best form. Your man Riley Sanders has had a great start to the game. Treloar's got involved, and Matt Kennedy, I think, is a really important one as well. He's had his hands on the ball. He's had 9 touches as well. So when they get a contribution from everyone in there, and then you got Bailey Dale, who sets the tempo and that element of risky ball movement, they look sharp. The Bulldogs, they've started as the Dogs would have hoped, and the D's have been challenged.
Yeah, well, they're all go-forward sort of players. Dale's go forward, and Richards go forward. Sanders a bit more circumspect at time, but creative around contests like Matthew Kennedy. And then you've got the Bont, who's had 7 as well. They've beat them with handball. They're plus 22 in handball. So their uncontested marks are low compared to Narm's. They've got 29 to 21 in favour of Narm. But uncontested possession, they're plus 15. So it's get the ball from ground ball or contested possession, where it's pretty relatively even for the quarter, and then get it out through handball and make Melbourne defend. And they're sort of being caught on their heels. I talked about it through the first quarter. You could see them just sort of second-guessing themselves as to how to defend this transaction. And it's largely numbers behind or at the contest for the Dogs, and then it's surge forward with hands. So Melbourne will hold their shape behind, but then they get caught in between, should I come up? Should I stay back? How do I play this? And then all of a sudden gaps open up, and then support run comes through. And I reckon that's the way they've broken through the middle of the ground a few times, the Doggies, and look very, very sharp, as you say. So expect a bit of a chat with Stephen King and his boys at quarter time. He doesn't seem overly animated from what I could see. And we're just watching him in the quarter time huddle, but they've got some work to do. They are a bit off. I couldn't agree more with you. They are a bit off.
Bailey Dale with 11 disposals, Sanders with 9, Kennedy with 9, and Ed Richards with 9. Richards with 9, 4 clearances and a goal. He does love playing the Demons. While for Melbourne, Bowie finished with 9 for the quarter, 7 to Sparrow and 6 to Pickett and Langdon. It was the clearance game in which the Bulldogs got on top, 14 to 9, but the D's are averaging 13 intercept marks across the season. They had 5 in the first quarter.
Yeah, well, intercept marks all across. It was 2-7, wasn't it, in favour of the D's?
Yeah.
So they're plus 5 for the term, which is a really positive outcome for them. But some of their ball use inside forward to forward 50, outside the 52 inside, it's just high and long, which has not been their modus operandi from the games that we've seen live on a Sunday at 3:15. So some room to grow. Max back in the middle. I like that from a D's perspective, but the Dogs have put up a really good show here so far.
Start of the second quarter, Bulldogs leading by 10 points from the opening tap. Bontempelli gathers for the Dogs, sidesteps around an opponent and drives a high kick inside 50. Norton the target, lost Turner, can't take the mark, brought it down to the front where Sanders is there. Langdon lays the tackle on him, and the umpire will ball it up 30 metres out from the Western Bulldogs goal. A lot of players around this stoppage. As Gawn gets rid of lob and wins down the tap. Treloar trying to shark it. Gets a hand pass out. Richards lost it. Socket off the ground by Gawn up towards Sharp of the Demons. Knocks it out to Steele. He kicks out towards the boundary line. Bouncing ball for Rivers, who gets a hand pass away to Bowie. Hard against the boundary line. Bulldogs pinch it back through Ed Richards. Clever chip kick. Looking for Norton. Can't take the mark. Turn him on. He chopped his arms. And the free kick is going to go the way of the Bulldogs spearhead in the left forward pocket.
Just put such great pressure on you, that little chip kick from Richards. It's a really clever kick. Norton was coming out full steam ahead as he does most often, and Disco didn't think initially it was going to get to him or go to him, so he sort of sat back a little bit, then had to really get the Jets going to try and keep up. He's giving away the free kick.
Tug at the back of the jumper, thinking Norton was going to have the mark. 26 goals, 13 for Aaron Norton, the leading goal kicker for the Dogs this season. From the left forward pocket, it's across the face of goal. Over the top comes Lever to knock it through. In fact, into the post. So into the behind post for a boundary throw-in. It's the Bulldogs by 10 points through 90 seconds of the second quarter.
Boundary umpire just taking their time to get set. Rory Lobb in the ruck, opposed to Max Gawn. Forward pocket here for the Dogs. Lobb taps it down. Cozzy Pickett trying to get onto the footy. Langford's in there as well. Steele jams it on the boot, exits the D50. Mark taken by Bailey Dale. Dogs back with it. It's beyond the attacking arc. Dale looks for a target, just sets it up towards Bontempelli, hands to it, he marks it. What can't this man do? A contested mark, hobbled on one leg, and he juggles it down at the back of the pack.
And I'm all for the Sir Doug Hawkins pre-game stuff, but if we're handing out Sirs, then this bloke should probably get one as well.
Sir Marcus Bontempelli, he hooks it through, and the Dogs lead by 16. He is a freak, an absolute marvel. 4-1-25, plays 1-3-9, 2.5 minutes into their second term. Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford.
Well, you could hang him in the Louvre.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have a hard time comparing footballers with art or the game as art. That's about as close as we're going to get Marcus Bontempelli. But I actually want to talk about Bailey Dale's pass. As good as the mark was and as good as the finish was, we're almost used to that level of class from Marcus Bontempelli. But the Bailey Dale kick inside 50, that's a Docklands kick.
Explain that. What's that mean?
Because it's got more pace, it's got more aggression, and it's
punching trajectory.
More punch into it. And the D's when they go in, it's high and lobbing, and that's more of an MCG kick.
There you go, good.
Steele gets the clearance away to Windsor, sends Melbourne to half forward. Cross can't take the mark, but fights for it. Loses in the end to Butterick. Hand pass to Dale. The Dogs from half back. Sanders' hand pass to Butterick one way, then the other. Trying to get around Langford. Chips a kick to Rory Lobb. And Mark centre wing on the broadcast side. The Dogs by 16 points. He looks up towards Kennedy. Two coming from the other side. Turner makes the spoil with support from Langford. Spills out the way of Steele. Hand pass to Cozzy Pickett. Through the middle of the ground to Langdon. Gives it back to Cozzy. Just pulls his kick cleverly. Finds Laurie. Laurie looks inside 50. Jefferson's on the lead. And he cuts in front of Sharp to take the mark in a 2-on-2.
So I can't remember the D's coming through the corridor in the first quarter at all. And Bob talked about the width and being caught on the width and trying to be too wide at times and getting hemmed in. But that's the first time they've really attacked back through the corridor. That might be a sign of things to come.
Cozzy Pickett got the memo.
Yeah.
He's kicking, the way he uses the ball is similar to Bailey Dale, where it's those darts, it's angles, it's aggressive, it's punchy in the middle of the ground.
The fourth-year Demon with 6 goals, 3, Matthew Jefferson, as he comes in from almost directly in front and misses to the left-hand side for a minor score. The Bulldogs by 15 points. Lauren Borden on the boundary.
You're just speaking about the movement at Docklands and how Melbourne has improved at the start of the second quarter. That's what Stephen King had written on his whiteboard. It said defensively look forward and go with pace. So we probably just saw that in the last 15 seconds or so.
Fraser with the kick up to the wing and coming into Mark Lever.
It's real spy territory from you, Loz.
Yeah, got the binoculars.
Love that from you.
Half's writing on the whiteboard was illegible. Wouldn't have been able to do that at the AFLW as the D's look to switch. Turner at centre half back, brings it out to the dockside wing, and Tolstrup.
I take great pride in my hand.
Yeah, there's a bit of spice in the box today.
Dogs by 15. Tolstrup sends the D's inside 50. Big pack form. Selwood spoils. Bad bounce for Bramble. Gathered by Sanders. Gives it back to Bramble. Dogs back pocket. Caulfield turns into traffic. Kicks across to the opposite pocket. Misses Butterick. It skids out. Throw in left forward pocket for the D's. Going by the moniker of Nam during the 2 weeks of Sir Doug Nicholls rounds. 4-1-25, the Dogs over Melbourne 1-4-10.
Do you know what I do better than any coach in the history of the game?
What's that?
Draw the oval.
Oh, I appreciate a good oval.
Yeah. I draw the best ovals in coaching.
Max Gawn over the back. Here's Cosy Pickett on the move. He's running into the middle of the forward 50 and trying to cut it with his right boot over his shoulder. He misses to the right-hand side. The 1-2 punch there for Nam. Just unsuccessful. The Bulldogs lead is 14 points at the 5-minute mark. Make that 6-minute mark of the second quarter.
Do you know what colour texture?
Red.
Black?
Green. Because the oval.
Because the oval's
grass.
green. Yep, I walked into that.
Detail.
Yep.
Little thing.
Yep.
Bailey-Dale with the kick in, short to Richards, who kicks the Dogs up the middle and turns it over. Tolstrup
he's got him.
Over by Riley West.
Wow.
He sucked him into it, and West
Oh,
thought what he
no.
was settling, and he will be marched to full forward Colton Tolstrup for a shot on goal.
He probably didn't need to touch him. Maybe that's the out for the umpire. Outside of that, there was no real contact. But it was contact. He'd already taken the mark. So probably that's the out for the umpire. That's why it was 50. We'll see on the replay again. He gets up and he does grab him or make contact unnecessarily, I suppose.
Just.
Yeah, it's stiff, but he comes in a step late and puts his arms around him.
Been in negating roles in 2026, pick 13 in 2023. Colton Tolstrup drives it through. Melbourne off and running in the second quarter. And it's back to 8 points. The Bulldogs lead 4-1-25, plays 2-5-17. 7 minutes into it, Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford.
Well, it's just clumsy in the end. You could argue the toss, and I'm sure Riley West, just looking at his expression, he feels like he was dudded. Mark was taken by Tolstrup, and he just came in. Look, he's just put a half an arm around,
but didn't need to.
Didn't need
not
to.
Allowed to. More importantly,
he was pretty quick to make the most of it, wasn't he, Tolstrup?
Oh, clever.
Like,
yeah, there was no need for Tolstrup to fall.
It's not the sometimes not the most palatable part of our game, but if you're going to do it, he reacted and sold it pretty well. Gee, it's a tight curl up on top.
Yeah, it's real glow.
It's really
soul
tight.
glow sort of stuff.
Yep.
Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford with you on ABC Sport. Going out of the ruck, gets the clearance with a hand pass forward, and that's where Sparrow has it locked to his chest as Ed Richards lays the tackle. Bailey-Dale up to 15 disposals, leading the way early here. Gawn tangles with Lob. Lob gets it down to Richards. Kicks a high ball in the middle of the ground. Jaff's underneath it. Tholstrup as well. West does the crumbing after Fraser brought it down.
Good.
Sanders, good hand pass away to Cleary. The Dogs through the middle of the ground. Richards, hand pass to Selwood, who gets forward now. He tries to kick inside 50 in the direction of Lewis. Lever makes the spoil. Bowie front and centre. Beaten to it by Norton. Langford tries to knock it clear for Melbourne. Trapped underneath him. Jakes picks it up in the right forward pocket unselfishly. Centres it to the Bont.
Good boy.
And that's always a good option. And Bontempelli marks on a 45-degree angle. He's only about 20 metres out from goal.
Really good composure and decision-making. That's what you're after from young players who are trying to find their feet at the level. Make good decisions more often than not. And that was a cracker from Jakes. Hand up on the boundary. Had Cosy Pickett coming at him. Got it across his nose, really.
Sharp angle on the kick, wasn't it? Gorgeous.
To Bontempelli, who knew it was coming.
Marcus Bontempelli looking for 2 goals in this second quarter. With a right knee, heavily strapped, a half Bont is better than most, and put him down for 2 as the Doggies restore a 14-point advantage. 5-1-31 to Melbourne 2-5-17. Mention Aaron Norton leads the way with 26 goals for the season. Marcus Bontempelli now up to 16. With no Sam Darcy, he's the second leading goal kicker for the Dogs. He can do it all. AFL Sunday Footy on ABC Sport with Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford.
He's the same height as Wayne Carey, Marcus Bontempelli, so there's a parallel universe there where he could have been a centre-half forward for the bulk of his career, but he's made his name as a midfielder. He looked like he was labouring a little bit last week against the Blues. the Bont. We know he's battling some injury concerns. He looks pretty light on his feet today, half. He looks like he's enjoying himself out there.
Well, he's spending a lot of time forward, though, isn't he? They're not really testing him through the middle of the ground too often. He's back in there now.
Lob going early in the ruck, ends up with Kennedy.
Oh.
Lob picks it up, shovels forward a handball, and the D's win it through Bowie. He'll kick up towards the wing. Bouncing ball for Laurie. Big collision. Selwood just buffets him off it. Allows Jakes to come in and pick it up for the Dogs on the wing. Handball to Sanders. Bouncing ball for Selwood. Nice pick up. Dribbles a 5-metre kick. Cozzy Pickett bursts onto it for the D's. Handball to Laurie. There's a whistle somewhere. Advantage taken. Laurie handballs it out to Langford. He's tackled by Selwood. This is scrappy on the wing from both teams. Sparrow turns it over. Lewis ends up with it. He'll rush it, kick up to half forward for the Dogs. Bouncing ball for Norton inside 50. Gathers, tackled by Lever, breaks the tackle. Handball away to Artie Jones.
I'll go forward, Artie.
Jones steps around Lever, gets back on the right, snaps it on goal.
Close.
We'll do that.
Special.
My
Artie
goodness.
Jones with a work of art and a dance to celebrate. The Noongar man celebrates Sir Doug Nicholls round in style. Dogs by 20, 6-1-37 plays 2-5-17, 11 into the second.
Well, a brilliant finish in the end. Great work from Norton to shake off two defenders and be able to keep his feet there and be able to get the ball back into Artie Jones. Some poor disposal by the D's up the field. I hated Artie going back, I must admit. I hated it. He could have gone straight to goal from when he got it, but he went back, went boundary and made it more impossible and decided that he put on a bit of a show in Sir Doug Nicholls round. Well done, young fella. That's an unbelievable finish.
That is low percentage play, and we're all the better for it. Artie Jones, that was art.
He is related to the Crackers. It won't surprise you after that finish.
Used to love watching the Cracker Brothers.
Oh, didn't we?
He was crunched by Jaff in the first quarter, finished with Classer in the right forward pocket. Sparrow for Melbourne gets the clearance up towards half forward. Cleary's hand pass out of traffic. Butterick gets it forward. Bontempelli tries to knock it on. Langdon takes it back for Melbourne. Hand pass to Jaff and now away to Cross. D's trying to drive it inside 50. Petty and Karmas 1-on-1. Karmas works him underneath. A win for Buku.
Just some missed tackles have crept into the Demons' footy in the last 5 minutes, and it's costing them. We'll see if that's just a little patch or if it's a pattern.
Well, the key posters behind the ball doing a great job for the Dogs. They're 8-1 down in centre clearance. So they're getting quick ball coming in from centre restarts, and they're able to just hold up. They're doing a great job. Karmas is doing a hell of a job.
Bontempelli from the wing, up towards Fraser. Can't take the mark. Hand pass to Bramble. Goes back to Bailey Dale. Possession number 17 coming up for him, Benny.
And he kicks into the middle and spots up Jakes.
He's out of control, Bailey Dale. They need to look at a role to stop him.
Jakes to Selwood, who kicks the Dogs to half forward. Kennedy on a wide searching lead. Lewis leading up at the footy, full-chested. And he marks 45 out. Slightly better than a 45-degree angle right half forward.
Well, I'm thinking Tolstrup is the player. He did it in the back pocket against Nick Watson. And when they played the Hawks, he's got real capacity to beat them. As Bailey Fritsch comes off for the D's and Van Rooyen comes back on. But I reckon he's the guy who could play. He's kicked a goal already. He's involved in that passage of play before. I reckon he's your man. Lock him out.
You think the tight curl into the tight defensive
tag.
role?
Yep.
Will Lewis has taken a pay cut to play AFL footy from his engineering gig to an SSP spot, and he falls short on the set shot here. Gawn swats it through. Bulldogs lead by 21 points.
What's the shortfall there in terms of the coin there, Ben?
Not exactly across that, but it is a pay cut. I'm very reliably informed.
Seems like you do know.
Wow, withholding some information here. To
shouldn't be reading people's emails and opening envelopes, Ben.
Pay slips.
Tolstrup up to Steele, lost it. Bontempelli again, kicks to Artie Jones, who leads up and takes the mark in front of Jaff. Melbourne are having problems. They can't clear their defensive 50, and the Bulldogs are making them pay on the turnover.
Well, their skill level and their execution has been poor today. And it's not largely due to the pressure. It's largely due to just the situation, I think, at the moment they're finding themselves in, where they're being totally outplayed. And I get the sense that they're sensing that. The perceived pressure of what's happening is causing a few errors to creep into their game.
Artie Jones with a goal already in this second quarter. He's up to a career best 6 goals for the season. Hoping for a bit of luck injury-wise. He comes in directly in front for his second. And to continue the Bulldogs charge. Another goal celebration in Sir Doug Nicholls' round. And they're all over the Demons here. A 27-point lead as the Bulldogs make it 4-1 in this second quarter. 7-2-44 to none 2-5-17. To Artie Jones, Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford with you on ABC Sport.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing to watch our Indigenous players in Sir Doug Nicholls' round.
He was involved in the pre-game ceremony dance against the Blues last week. He, Jack Ison and Zach Williams.
Never any question on Artie Jones' ability and his skill. It just looks like this year he's got a bigger body. There's always that one year where a young recruit goes from a boy to a man, and it feels like Artie Jones really belongs out there, and he's staking a bit of a claim today.
Gawn takes it out of the ruck, hurries the kick forward. Big pack forms, Van Rooyen bringing it down, bouncing around at half forward here for the D's. Bailey Dale takes it for the Western Bulldogs. Handball away to Butterick, to Selwood. Clear and kick up to the wing. Treloar underneath it. And in the end, it gets out of play off the hands of Howes. So Western Bulldogs have kicked the last 3 goals in the game over 5 minutes. They lead by 27 points.
All of a sudden, the pressure back on the Demons to try and find a response. Sunday footy on ABC Sport, thrown in, Gawn in front position, just thumps it forward against Croft, gains 15 metres, Kennedy gets to it first, breaks the tackle of Sparrow, kicks up the wing, a bouncing ball for Lewis, clears him and Lever. Turner's the last to kept his footing against Jakes, but now he has a problem. Spin into a tackle from Lewis holding the ball. The Dogs will take the advantage. Jakes hand pass to Treloar, hand pass to Sanders, cuts inboard, hand pass over the top of Cossie Pickett. Here's Richards on the run, he lines it up and bangs through another. Ed Richards with his second.
It's a clinic.
Bontempelli, Richards and now Jones, they all have 2 goals and the Dogs lead by 33 points. 8-2-50 to Melbourne, 2-5-17. That's 4 unanswered goals in the match as the Dogs take control.
I want you to have a look at Riley Sanders' handball to Edward.
Yes, I'm glad you brought this up, Daniel. Go.
This is brilliant.
Sing it, brother.
From him, because he saw him back inside, cut back inside, which was the first right manoeuvre, and then he saw that Richards had space in front of him. So if you handball straight to him...
Handball to advantage.
Probably going to get hammer. Handballs to the space he wants him to move into so he can launch on the left foot, and he goes back and kicks the goal. It's just good craft. It can slip the guard of some watchers and some observers, Bob, but that is really intelligent football from Riley Sanders.
Oh, look, you and I had a bit of a pinchy start today, half, but we're back. That was really, really solid analysis. Loved it. Sir Daniel Harford is all of a sudden in the conversation.
Restart in the middle. Heath palming it down, but pinched there by Kennedy. Floats it inside 50. Lobb gets a hand to it. Bouncing ball. Norton coming through. Knocks it out towards Sanders again. He's worried out of it, and the D's inside the defensive 50 work it out through Howes, who kicks out wide. Finds Laurie. He'll kick around the dockside wing, up towards Van Rooyen. Out bodies his opponent there in Buku Khamis to mark. Feeds Sparrow running by. A similar handball. Leads Sparrow into it. Kicks to full forward. There's a whistle. Free kick.
To the Demons.
To Petty. So the D's at full forward will get the free kick. O'Donnell the offending party. And Petty to go back and kick for goal from 20 out, a slight angle.
He's not happy, James. He's still disputing it with the umpire, but it did seem in real time that there was a grab of the arm and the jumper to try and retard Harrison Petty.
I've got some bad news in just a moment as well.
Oh, no.
Jeez. Wait for Harrison Petty to kick on goal. Harry Petty, 3 goals last week. Very slow approach. Right foot drop punt. Straight through the middle. And the D's just hang in this one. Back to 27 points. So 8-2-50 plays 3-5-23. 18 minutes into the second term. The bad news is that Collingwood confirms forward Jamie Elliott has sustained an ACL injury in yesterday's game. So the other news out of it is that Darcy Moore has a moderate grade hamstring injury after he was removed from play just before halftime, while Will Hayes dislocated his shoulder in the fourth quarter. So the bad news, the headline there, Jamie Elliott with an ACL injury.
Ah, that's horrible. What a way to suck the jam out of that, don't it, yesterday?
Yeah.
That whole moment. For Scott Pendlebury's record-breaking performance.
What a shame.
Yeah, what a player he's been, Jamie Elliott. Hasn't always had great luck with injury.
Geez, good stuff. Was as good as we've seen from a small forward, isn't it?
Best in the business, really.
Bulldogs lead is 27 points. Heath in the middle of the ground, wins down the tap against Lobb, wins a sand pass back to the ruck. Heath in two minds, trying to get around his opponent, Ian Cleary. Took too long, tackle Kennedy, brings the ball back against Sharp, and a free kick for holding the ball will go the Western Bulldogs' way. Matt Kennedy at centre half back, stepped off his line, so call to play on. Swings it out to the broadcast side where Selwood can mark. The Bulldogs led by 10 points a quarter time. That kick in the middle of the ground misses the target of Fraser, and Howes with a 1-2 with Windsor to the run of Chandler through the middle of the ground, drives it long to Petty, a 2-on-1. Buku Kamas makes the spoil. He might have caught one high in the process as well.
No, their defensive system is working really well, the Bulldogs. They've done a really good job to just be able to lay off. One of the defenders just lay off at the right time and get in the space where the ball's entering into. They've done it all afternoon long.
Petty in frustration tried to come in and smack the ball, and he's got Buku Kamas in the head.
Yeah, open hand.
Open hand will get him out of probably trouble, but it's not a good look.
I copped 2 weeks for that back in 2001.
Did you?
Yep. Dominic Cassisi.
Did
Murphy strikes.
Did he squeal
Cassisi. He did not squeal.
Kamas with the kick up to the wing. Over the back it goes. It works out for Hines. Gives it to Bontempelli. Dragged down by Steele as he kicks. Bouncing ball, and Windsor retreats. Wins it there for the D's. And he retreats with his kick back inside the defensive arc for Melbourne.
So the spare for Melbourne's always been on the open side. The Dogs have played a more straight line defence and are happy for the loose play to be wide for the D's because they feel they can close that down, and because they're not changing shape often enough, they're not exploiting that out number.
Melbourne complete the switch. Langdon receives it from Japp, kicks up to Van Rooyen. Between wing and half forward, Van Rooyen sets it up to a contested full forward, punched away by Lobb. Bramble gets a bad bounce in the pocket. Paddy Cross is there. Bramble engulfs him, takes him over. Dogs by 27, 21 minutes into the second.
Now, it's well documented on this program how much I value Brodie Myercheck, but we'll see Jacob Van Rooyen today. He's getting his hands on the footy, but it's up high on the wing. So that's usually where Brodie Myercheck's getting the ball and then going deeper to Van Rooyen. So that's not an option today for the D's.
So they're banking on Petty being the deep take.
Yeah.
Heath got it down, was bumped off it. Pickett on the run. He fires on his right boot across the face of goal and misses to the right-hand side. Bulldogs by 26 points, 8-2-50 to Naarm Melbourne 3-6-24. So we get another shot here of the collision between Cleary and Max Heath. And
Bustling is...
Cleary sort of turned into the direction of the ruck and unfortunately got a stray arm into the head. So trainers are coming out. Might have to come from the field for a HIA here.
It's hard to watch.
Incidental, but unfortunately for Luke Cleary, who is not
wobbly,
all that clear as to where he is at the moment. So
no, he's in a bad way.
Bulldogs by 26 points. Matt Litcher, Ben Cameron calling the action. Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy, your experts. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. And Cleary to head the way of Lauren Borden on the boundary.
I think Cleary had that concussion last year when Jackson Archer ran into him. Remember, I think Jackson Archer might have hurt his leg in the incident as well, and Cleary was cleaned up. So
he's jogging off. So yeah, it's positive. He's found his balance a little bit, but he looked in a bad way there.
Yeah, he did.
On the SMS, if you want to join us throughout the afternoon, 0437 774 774. Kevin has done so. Beautiful sunny Sunday afternoon Perth, and listening to my favourites with the banter between Bob and Half. It's all in the detail. Wonderful stuff. And Simon and Sean from the York Peninsula enjoying the call. Especially enjoyed the Blues with their win last night over Port Adelaide. A kick for the Bulldogs through Bontempelli into the middle of the ground. Set Fraser a challenge. He's up for it. Gathers against Fridge. Kick out towards Bailey-Dale, and the Dogs are away once more. Hines sends the kick inside 50. Artie Jones flies. Can't take the mark. Spills down to ground level. And Bowie with a hand pass to Japp. The D's through two. Little slow. Slipped. Put the pressure on. Holding the ball. And the desperation of the Dogs, they win it back. And they're clean to let Daniel Turner know about it. Hang on. Free kick has been reversed here, has it? And Turner's going to get a free kick.
Was there any head rubbing?
Push to the face, maybe.
Head rubbing's an automatic reversal these days.
So Fraser's given away what would have been a shot on goal.
Turner sends it up in the Gorn direction. Two hands on it, but not the mark. Lob at ground level. Handball away towards Caulfield. Tackled by Petty. Throwing coming on the wing. Dogs by 26. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
It was a great chase.
It's not where you want to slip over, is it?
No.
Let's go Turner.
Lewis did a good job. Oh, it was a head rub from Fraser to Turner. That's what it is. You can't do that.
That's no good.
Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford, your experts, has gone double palms it to the back. Lauren Borden.
So Luke Cleary has obviously gone straight down into the rooms. He had a little bit of a team of medical staff going down with him, about 3 physios and doctors going down into the rooms with Luke Cleary.
Thanks to Lauren Borden on the boundary. Dale gathers, got a bump as he got his hand pass away.
Yes, he did.
A late whistle, and he's going to get a free kick here.
He got one across the top too.
Pickett came across and got him. So all of a sudden it's getting a bit lively. Bailey-Dale up to 19 disposals so far, and it's going to be a downfield free kick, and Richards is going to take it.
He might have 50 today, Bailey-Dale, if the D's don't put someone to him.
He's had 49 before.
Yep. Richards into the pocket, looking for Lewis. Off hands at Sport out of play. Jaff and Turner combined.
They do have, they got him golf balls with 49 on it as the number, but he refused to use them.
Did he?
Yep. Wasn't too keen on it.
Not happy with the hot dots.
You've said, Bob, that he is the best natural sportsman across different sports you've seen.
Yes.
Bailey-Dale.
Unbelievable table tennis player.
Lob palms it down. Chandler takes it, hurries a kick out of the defensive 50, out on the full, the Dogs to get it back.
Beautiful cricketer.
Give Meow Meow
Great golfer.
Take on Meow Meow and
no problem.
Take her down.
No problem.
Righto.
Plays off about 3 in golf. Bulldogs by 26.
What sort of golf balls were they that they gave him?
Yeah.
Kicks inside 50, leading up Lewis. He can't take the mark. Might have been held, he was.
Yep.
So Will Lewis.
He's causing troubles.
Yeah, he looks like a real target inside 50 for the Dogs today, and he'll go back and kick for goal from just inside 50, about 20 metres in from the boundary line at right half forward.
Well, he had no problems in the first quarter with that tricky pocket that's got that strong breeze, so I expect this one to be quite comfortable for Lewis.
There's a bit of a vortex that's created in this pocket, my understanding. Rama said it once.
Right side for a left footer. His drop punt is away to the left. Pack forms.
Vortex.
Swatted through. Colton Tolstrup going up in front of the pack to make sure it went through. Gets in a little tangle with Norton on the way out. Dogs by 27 late in the first half.
Bowie brings Melbourne back into play. Veers into the right back pocket. Sends it long up to Turner. Sport away. Dogs have the numbers. Selwood, was he taken high? Umpire says holding the ball. Had an opportunity to get it clear, says the umpire. So free kick going the D's way. And Trent Rivers to take it at right half back. Sends Nam long up the wing. In the direction of Cross and Butterick. Cross takes the mark. Good, strong, contested mark between wing and half forward for the D's. Veers boundary side. Sends a high ball Van Rooyen's way. Jefferson in from the side. Van Rooyen got hands to it. Can't complete the mark. Sharp's little topo. Out in the bottom of the tail. He and Pontepelli both looked at each other. Opened the door for Chandler. He can't break clear.
Got lucky.
Bit too polite there, the Dogs.
Yeah.
Too much respect for each other.
No, you, sir. In the end, Chandler almost made him pay.
All up. Full forward for the D's. Down beautifully by Gawn. Chandler leaves it behind. Richards pinches it. Rubbers a kick beyond the defensive 50 for the Dogs. But Bowie bursts onto it from the tight angle right to the line. And Jefferson on the last line had 2 Dogs with him.
2 Dogs.
Went for the mark and knocks it through.
It's a good turn of speed from Bowie.
Bulldogs lead by 27 points. I remember when they won the flag in 2021, Jake Bowie, it was his 17th game, I think, did the lap of honour in record time. I don't think he quite realised you need to savour this moment and take it in. He finished. The rest of them were about a quarter of the way through the lap of honour.
Got to get in the rooms.
Riley Sanders at half-back for the Bulldogs. From the kick-in, sends it up the wing. Jaff had a fly. Can't take the mark. Norton fires a hand pass forward. Lewis tries to knock it on. Back to Norton. It was clever. Looks into the pocket. The kick is wide of Croft. And the opportunity is lost. Tholstrup rushes back after it. And it rolls out of play instead.
They're retreating a lot, the Demons, in defence. They're not coming up at the ball carrier, trying to squeeze the space that they've got to.
I don't think they're used to this speed of ball movement under the roof and with the Bulldogs. It's caught them off guard a bit today.
Bulldogs by 26 points, having led by 10 points at quarter time. Thrown in, lob in front of Gawn, wins down the tap. West tries to dive on top of the footy. Gawn dives on top of him.
How many for Max?
Ball it up. Max Gawn has had 6 disposals.
Yeah, no influence outside the contest, really.
1 clearance.
Wins the tap here. Socket on there by Rivers. Gathering the footy, Chandler. They keep it moving forward through handballs. Sharp to Sparrow, who gets it onto Cross. Hurries a kick, but Garmas is the only man there. And 3 goes at picking it up. Eventually did for the Dogs. Gives it off to O'Donnell. Kicks to the wing, and Artie Jones bursting onto it. Mark still backward of halfway. Kicks into the man on the mark. Turns it over Jefferson for the D's. Handball to Steele. Time to stop, prop, and kick inside 50. Van Rooyen a run and jump at it. 2 hands to it. Not the mark. Now he follows up at ground level. Play a little bit of tunnel ball, and Van Rooyen has it wrapped to him. Ball up right forward pocket for the D's. Nam as they're going by in Sir Doug Nicholls rounds. The Dogs lead by 26.
Max Gawn wins down the tap against Lobb, looking for Cosy Pickett. That's been the go-to. He's tackled, holding the ball. As Rory Lobb came in to lay the tackle after Ed Richards tried to corral him. Cosy can't believe it. He's in the long sleeves alongside Bailey Fritsch this afternoon, and Rory Lobb gets to his feet to get a free kick. Lauren Borden on the boundary.
Luke Cleary has been ruled out of the game with concussion, so the Western Bulldogs acting pretty quickly thereafter. As Ben mentioned, he did have that pretty bad concussion last year, so out of the game for the rest of today and next week at least.
Thanks, Loz. Bit of a scattering of bodies as Jakes has almost given the WWE treatment from Rivers, and a free kick will go Melbourne's way. Rivers against the boundary line.
Big Max was holding his face
a bit
before
sore too, yeah.
Bulldogs by 26 points. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron calling the action. Lauren Borden on the boundary. Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy, your experts.
Working it down the city wing, the D's. Short kick coming from Turner to Jath. Jath with a towering kick towards the contest inside 50. No markers. Ball spills out to Gawn. Jams it on the boot. Floats it on goal. It's there.
Maxie.
Big Max. Looking like a rover. A pirouette, a snap and a goal. Back to 20 points. 8-3-51 the Dogs. Now Melbourne 4-7-31. 31 minutes into the second. Bob Murphy, Daniel Harford.
Well, whoever slapped or managed to clip Max across the chops a minute before that has cost his team, because it's woken Max up. That was very, very sharp. Turned on a dime. Big Max roving his own contest and slams it through. It's not much you can't do, Max.
No, we love Big Maxie here on Sunday afternoons. He's been relatively quiet. We had a chat about that before, and he's decided that he's had to step up and do something about that for his team to be back into the hunt here.
Had 6 disposals and a goal before that finish, and the Demons have it back to a 20-point margin and get a clearance out of the middle of the ground. Cosy Pickett held out of it by Bailey-Dale. Fritsch tries to gather. Picked up by Turner. Hand pass away. Pickett one way, then the other. Hand pass to Langford. Fires towards goal. It clears Jefferson, and through it goes. The D's have kicked the last 3 goals of the match as they look to start the fight back. And it's a 14-point margin as Nam have found their rhythm. They're 5-7-37 to the Dogs, 8-3-51. And all of a sudden, that's 4 goals to 5 in this second quarter.
Well, finally, some results, some reward for their centre clearance work. 11-2 out of centre clearance. That's their first score. First goal, anyway, from centre clearance. So that's finally a bit of reward. So all of a sudden, momentum has shifted very, very quickly on the back of Max's goal. And then that moment there, good feed from Cozzy.
Yeah, that was his clearance too, though, Max. He took it out of the ruck and got it moving forward. That was a bit more direct from the Ds. They've been able to get their hands on it, but they've been too inclined to go slower and wider. That time, straight up the middle, putting the Dogs' defence under a bit of stress.
They've come storming back into this match. Gawn again laying it down, looking for Sparrow. Can't take it cleanly. Steele applying the tackle. Sparrow goes in and wins it. Gives it off to Bowie. He zips around a couple. Kicks up to half forward. Van Rooyen there with Karmas. Bouncing ball. Getting back. Selwood tries to help out. Van Rooyen stripped of it. Might have been held. Cosy Pickett takes it anyway. He'll kick deep for the D's. Gawn is down there. At the back, Rivers. It lands in his lap. He marks 15 out, slight angle. And this is a Melbourne onslaught.
He got a bit lost there, Artie Jones. Rivers was his direct opponent, and Artie decided to fly and made no impact on that contest whatsoever, and it was Rivers out the back. If you're going to fly, you have to make a fist of it.
Trent Rivers hasn't kicked a goal this year. He's had a knee injury during the season. Kicks this one, and the D's have stormed back into the contest. It is just 8 points at the major break. 8-3-51 the Dogs. Melbourne 6-7-43. They've kicked the last 4 goals of the first half. It was 33 points the way the Dogs 16 minutes into the second term. It is now just 8 at the main break. The goal kickers for Melbourne, all individuals. Rivers, Langford, Gawn, Tolstrup, Laurie and Petty, while for the Dogs, 2 to Richards, 2 to Artie Jones, one of them exquisite, and then singles to Lewis to West, and I missed 2 to Bontempelli as well. But it is the Dogs by 8 points at the main break. 8-3-51 plays 6-7-43.
A funny old quarter. The Bulldogs kicked 5 of the first 6 goals of the term. And then the Demons, as Benny described, finished with a flurry. They kicked the last 4 of the half to make it an 8-point ball game at half-time. The thoughts of Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy with you on ABC Sport.
No, that's a bizarre end of the quarter, considering what we'd seen up until that point, up until about the 17-18 minute mark, where the Dogs had come off 4 in a row. The D's looked all at sea defensively. They couldn't get their hands on the footy. But they are really running. They're running into the change rooms as if to say, "This is."
They're trotting off.
We are so back in this game. So back.
And the Dogs are just standing around having a little meeting while they wait for Ed Richards to do his TV interview.
Yeah, it's so unbelievable swing, and we put it down to Max. Max is the guy that got them going because they looked all at sea. Even though he had little influence outside of contest in that first half, full stop, and then all of a sudden goes forward after a poke in the eye. Gets the goal, gets the next clear, and then all of a sudden the juices of the whole Melbourne side, particularly the midfield, I think, got busy in that last 10 minutes of the quarter, and they find themselves only 8 points down after being, as you say, 33 points halfway through the term. It's a phenomenal comeback, and the Doggies will be devastated, I reckon, to be able to go in at half-time, Bob, and not have the comfort of controlling the game.
Oh, halfway through that second quarter, it looked like how far for the Bulldogs. Benny, did you say that it got out to 33 points, and was that at the same time that Fraser went the head rub in the forward 50?
I think it was around about then, yeah.
Because that looks like it was a turning point, because that would have been a certain goal that puts it out to 39 points, and it's almost done. And the D's have come charging back. Max was really involved. I also think that Jake Bowie, because he's the type of player who he gets it and he puts the accelerator down and he runs forward. And for too much of today, the D's were wider and slower, and the Dogs are always going to go at it under the roof here at the Docklands, but they were able to make a bit of an adjustment, and Max started to get his hands on it, and those centre clearances started to have an influence, and now they're back in it. And as we've learnt in the first half of this footy season, the Demons will hang in there. So it's them now asking the questions of the Western Bulldogs about whether they'll be prepared to go the distance.
So the Demons kicked 3 goals in 4 minutes after that Max Gawn goal.
Yep. Spot on.
Completely
32,
changed
33, 34 minute
the forecast of the game at the main break after the Dogs led by 10 points at quarter time. As Ben said, they got out by 33 points at the 16-minute mark after Ed Richards kicked that goal, and Melbourne within 4 minutes have worked their way back into the contest. So now I'm back to where they hoped to be at the start. There's 7 wins and 3 losses. The Bulldogs have lost 5 of their last 6, so the challenge for them to try and get back on the winners list, and all of a sudden this game has become intriguing.
Well, we know, and Bob's touched on it a couple of times, we know that the Demons will just keep playing. They'll keep playing. They've altered their style a little bit, certainly from the first quarter, to be able to get back through with some speed, back through the middle of the ground. That will enhance their prospects, let alone the fact that now they can think they can quite rightly get in front of the Bulldogs in not too long of time in the third quarter if they can play the way they want to play. And the Dogs will start, now the psychology is really important, because the Dogs will start to think, bloody hell, we threw our best, just about everything we could at the D's in that second term in the first half, full stop, and we find ourselves with an 8-point lead when we had the game in control. So can we get back to that stage, that level of and quality of play against this opposition, or was that our best punch and they've just been able to absorb it? So the psychology is really important. Luke Beveridge, your ruckist coach, is going to need to pull out one of his magic tricks, I reckon.
We said it I said it sort of lightheartedly, but someone clipped Max across the face. It looked like he got one across the chops, and he looked a bit sore there for a while. And for the next 5 minutes, he exploded, and it's almost like it's woken up the sleeping giant, and the D's look like a different outfit as a result.
Oh, I've got a message coming through from a loyal Sunday afternoon listener.
Blighty?
Sunday Arvo becoming my new favourite time slot. It's not Malcolm.
Okay.
It is Diggers, though, the man who got his nickname after Digby Morrell.
Digby Morrell.
He's got the same surname.
The oldest looking 19-year-old in the history of football.
Yep.
If the name fits as well. I hate to disagree with the two blokes that have actually played the game, but Melbourne didn't seem to have too many issues at the SCG, which is narrower than Docklands. What would be different about today?
It's more compressed, isn't it?
More compressed.
Roof. It's compression.
More circular.
Roof. Compression. All that sort of stuff. Diggers.
Diggers. Look. Some can, some can't.
Yeah. Diggers, I once had to drive Bob, just to finish off on that, I once had to drive Diggers to the hospital because he fresh aired a spoil and dislocated his shoulder.
Well, this is what we're talking about. Diggers.
That sums Diggers up. I think that's enough.
You've got a couple of the
Can you delete Diggers from your phone?
Yeah,
So
delete that contact.
The Bulldogs by 8 points at halftime. Some more of your thoughts on the SMS with the news of Jamie Elliott suffering an ACL today. So confirmation for Collingwood after that fourth quarter injury against the West Coast Eagles. Darcy Moore has a moderate grade hamstring injury and Will Hayes has dislocated his shoulder. Brendan from Hobart asks, what are the chances of seeing him play again? Well,
it's a good question. He's 33. I think
he had a 2-year contract, didn't he?
Yeah, but can you come back at 33 and 34 with a dodgy knee? I don't know. And Collingwood's list profile full stop. There's a few questions to be raised. I hope not, because he's been a champ for the Magpies, but it very well could be, I reckon, the last time we've seen.
Thanks to Brendan in Hobart. Gilby from on the SMS, busy spraying to get the crops in, having a laugh with the call team, been trying to think of who Bob and Daniel remind me of. Daniel got me off guard half with the banter and bluster. I think it might be Stadler and Waldorf from another show. And that might be my favourite correspondent of the year.
I've always wanted that label.
Listening to the best commentary team with these two and throwing Cameron Ling as well. That's from Graham in Canberra and Lorraine in Wodonga. Says, I'm with Bob and Rama about the wind at Docklands. It might be an enclosed stadium, but there is a open section around the perimeters. If you sit in the stands, it's always freezing cold breeze. Perhaps half needs to get out from behind the club.
Yeah.
Hey, come on, quick and fast.
That is
harsh but
wrong.
Good on you, Lorraine. Feedback is good. 0437 774 774. More of those messages coming through on the other side of the latest news from the ABC Newsroom.
Hello, this is ABC News with David Rowlands. A man has died following a shark attack in far north Queensland. Hannah Moore has the story.
Emergency services were called to the Hull River boat ramp, 160 kilometres south of Cairns, around midday, after receiving reports from the Tully Coast Guard of a shark attack. A 39-year-old man is understood to have been attacked at Kennedy Shoal, a reef site off the coast, before being retrieved from the water by a boat called Old Yeller. The man later died as a result of his injuries. Queensland Police say a report will be prepared for the coroner. It's the second fatal shark attack in Australian waters in as many weeks, after the death of a 38-year-old Perth man off Rottnest Island on May 16.
Hannah Moon with that story. US President Donald Trump has thanked the Secret Service and police for what he's called their swift and professional action against a gunman near the White House in Washington. In a social media post, Trump, who was inside the White House at the time, says the gunman had a violent history. Authorities say the 21-year-old suspect opened fire at a Secret Service checkpoint before being fatally shot by return fire, with a passerby also struck and wounded in the exchange of gunfire. A number of news crews were reporting on other issues as the shots were heard.
The two sides to remain far apart.
No.
Officials in China are investigating the cause of an explosion at a coal mine that's left at least 82 people dead. The blast in Shanxi province in northern China is one of the country's worst mining disasters for many years. At least 100 people are being treated in hospital. This miner explains what happened.
There was a smell like firecrackers. I urged others to run, but we were choking on the smoke and I fainted. Then I came to, woke up the others, and we escaped together.
Russia has launched another large-scale missile and drone attack on Ukraine's capital, Kyiv. The BBC's Warren Bull reports.
The mayor of Kyiv, Vitaly Klitschko, said multiple buildings had been hit by drones and missiles in the Russian attack on the capital. He said at least 5 people had been injured. Residents described how a large building near the government district shook heavily and people were forced to shelter in metro stations. Attacks have also been reported in a nearby city of Cherkasy and Melitopol to the south. On Friday, President Vladimir Putin said he'd ordered retaliation after state media said 18 people were killed in a drone attack on Russian-occupied parts of the Luhansk region.
The body of a man has been pulled from the Yarra River in Melbourne's Docklands. Emergency services were called to reports of a man seen in difficulty in the water off Maritime Place shortly after 5 o'clock this morning. Police say the circumstances surrounding the incident are under investigation, but the death is not believed to be suspicious. The man is yet to be formally identified. An elderly man has died after being struck by a car in Sydney's southwest last week. The 83-year-old man was hit by a car at Padstow on Thursday. He was taken to hospital in a critical condition but died yesterday. An 81-year-old woman was also injured. She remains in hospital in a stable condition. Police say a 71-year-old female driver undertook mandatory testing and an investigation is continuing. Hundreds of people and their pets have strolled along Lake Burley Griffin for the annual Canberra Paws Walk. Caitlin Maloney was there.
From greyhounds and golden retrievers to chihuahuas and cavoodles, more than 500 dogs and their owners are out at Patrick White Lawns for the RSPCA's annual Canberra Paws Walk. The event celebrates the bond between people and their pets, raising funds for shelter and vet services for abandoned and neglected animals. Earlier this month, the RSPCA secured $30 million in the federal budget to build its new facility at Pialago. Yesterday, the organisation offered free basic health checkups, vaccinations and grooming for dog and cat owners experiencing financial hardship.
Turning to sport now, and Greater Western Sydney has stunned the reigning AFL premiers, Brisbane, with an historic third-quarter surge on its way to a 78-point statement victory at Sydney Showgrounds this afternoon. The Giants kicked 14 majors in an 86-point third term to set a new record for the highest-scoring third quarter in AFL history. Jake Stringer and Toby Green slotted 5 goals apiece for the Giants in their 26-10-166 to 13-10-88 victory. ABC News.
Adventure awaits little ears with free audiobooks.
Most intriguing.
Like the 13-story Treehouse.
How do you turn this thing off?
And The Wind in the Willows.
The best stories in the world.
Find free audiobooks for little ears on the ABC Listen app.
On ABC Local Radio, Sport Digital, and on ABC Listen. This is Sir Doug Nicholls Round with ABC Sport.
Langford tries to knock it clear for Melbourne. Trapped underneath him. Jakes picks it up in the right forward pocket unselfishly. Centres it to the pond.
Good boy.
And that's always a good option. And Bontempelli marks on a 45-degree angle. He's only about 20 metres out from goal. Marcus Bontempelli looking for 2 goals in this second quarter. With a right knee, heavily strapped. A half Bont is better than most. And put him down for 2.
Bouncing ball for Norton inside 50. Gathers. Tackle by Lever. Breaks the tackle. Handball away to Artie Jones.
I'll go forward, Artie.
Jones steps around Lever. Gets back on the right. Snaps it on goal.
Close.
That
We'll do that.
Special.
Oh. My goodness.
Jones with a work of art and a dance to celebrate. The Noongar man celebrates Sir Doug Nicholls Round in style. Gath with the towering kick towards the contest inside 50. No markers. Ball spills out to Gawn. Jams it on the boot. Floats it on goal. It's there.
Maxie.
Big Max. Looking like a rover. A pirouette, a snap and a goal.
Picked up by Turner. Hand pass away. Pick it one way, then the other. Hand pass to Langford. Fires towards goal and clears Jefferson. And through it goes.
He'll kick deep for the D's. Gawn is down there. At the back, Rivers. It lands in his lap. He marks 15 out, slight angle. And this is a Melbourne onslaught. Brent Rivers hasn't kicked a goal this year. He's had a knee injury during the season. Kicks this one, and the D's have stormed back into the contest.
This is Sir Doug Nicholls Round on ABC Local Radio, Sport Digital, and on ABC Listen.
A 10-goal second quarter, plenty of highlights as both sides booted 5 goals and the Bulldogs lead by 8 points at half-time. 8-3-51 to Nam Melbourne, 6-7-43 after the Dogs led by 10 points at quarter time. 2 goals for Jones, Richards and Bontempelli for the Dogs, while Melbourne has 6 individual goal kickers, including they kicked the last 3 goals in 4 minutes to get back within 8 points. Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron calling the action. Lauren Borden down on the boundary. Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy are your experts on ABC Sport. In the match earlier today, The Giants, what an effort it was. They led by 6 points at quarter time, by 6 points at half time, and then booted the most amount of goals in a third quarter in VFL AFL history. 14 goals, 2 to 3 behinds for the Brisbane Lions. They eventually ran out by 78-point winners. It was the Giants' biggest score in their club history. 26 goals, 10, 166 to the Brisbane Lions, 13, 10, 88. And post-game, Declan Burns caught up with Brent Daniels from the Giants.
Brent Daniels joining us on ABC Sport. Record-breaking day for the Giants. How did that feel?
Yeah, when I walked to the ground, I didn't see that coming, but, we've been getting to work at the club, and the results haven't been going our way, but we've been working hard, and we knew it was going to turn at some point, and I think today was a good example of that. We've been working hard on some things, and kind of all came out today, especially in that third quarter.
I'll read you some numbers. Tell me if you knew any of them or if they were coming out maybe throughout the game. So 14 goals in a row for the third quarter. Highest third quarter in history of the competition. And it's the Giants' highest ever total. So 166 points. Were any of them running through the minds, or did word get out to the players at any point?
Not really. I don't think everyone was kind of in a little bit of disbelief, to be honest. Things were going our way that, when you have momentum, it kind of does that. But when you don't, they don't go your way. So it was a big quarter, and King has mentioned it, three-quarter time, we were all pretty gobsmacked, that's for sure. But it's a great quarter, and it's one to remember.
What did he say at three-quarter time?
Well, to be honest, he was pretty stern around keep playing our way. What we're doing is working, so don't go away from that. And in the past we've got away to big leads and probably just let opposition get back into the game, even though it was a long way out. But we just wanted to keep playing our way, be ruthless around that, not let the scoreboard dictate how we're playing.
It was a one-goal game at halftime. So what was the message at the main break from the coach?
The message was we were playing really well, doing the things that we wanted to do well, but we needed to take away their marks, bring high pressure, and we thought if we would maximise around stoppage and get the ball going our way, our forwards are looking dangerous. And I mentioned some things just went our way in that quarter, and sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but today they did, and it was pretty outstanding.
You use that word disbelief. A lot of us watching were the same, because this is the reigning premiers. You guys lost to the Wooden Spooners last year, and you've just beat the reigning premiers. Was it crazy to think, was it effort or whatever it was from Brisbane that just wasn't there and everything was clicking?
I don't think so. As I mentioned, we still believe that we're a top team. Even though the results haven't gone our way, we still think we're in the fight for this season. So we expect this of ourselves. Maybe not winning by 78 points against the reigning premiers, but we expected to win today. So even though the results haven't gone our way, I mentioned we've been working really hard on some things, and sometimes they just turn. And today was an example of that, and thought we played really well.
And quickly on your game, you had a blinder, a couple of goals in the middle for a lot of that game. How pleased with you, given last year was half a dozen games, this year stop-start, how pleased with you that would have been your best of the season?
Yeah, it's been good. It's probably been on the cards for a little while, playing through the midfield. The coaching staff wanted to just get me going up forward, get me back in the team, playing some consistent footy, and then we thought it was a good time to throw me in there and get me around the ball a little bit. And, as a junior, I always played midfield, so it comes pretty naturally to me. So, I loved it in there. And I think as a midfield group, we worked really well today. We had a really good mix as well.
You looked a bit annoyed when they said at 5 or 6 minutes to go, you're not going back on.
Yeah, it was a little bit annoying. Probably a smart call in the end, but I've mentioned in the past, we're just going to continue to manage me through the season, which is smart. And, the game was well out of hand, so in hindsight, it's a pretty good call.
Last one, take me again to that third quarter. There mustn't be many better feelings in footy than when everything is working like it did.
Yeah, it was great. Energy and effort was high, and I think connection amongst the group was probably the best it's been for a while, and that's a massive thing for us. So it's a pretty strong third quarter, but we've got to back up again, and hopefully we can deliver a few more of those.
Appreciate your time as always, Brent Daniels.
Well, good, thanks, mate.
14 goals for the Giants in the third quarter. Brent Daniels got the 3 votes in the ABC Footballer of the Year. Clayton Oliver with 37 disposals. Jake Stringer with 5 goals. Toby Green with 5. And the Giants take on the Demons in Alice Springs next week. The players have made their way back out onto Docklands. The Bulldogs leading by 8 points. Just a reminder that the breaking news, the ACL injuries to Jamie Elliott for the Magpies, to Matt Carroll for the Blues. Darcy Moore has a hamstring injury, and unfortunately Hayes with a dislocated shoulder. Don't forget, State of Origin, Game 1 gets underway on Wednesday night, and the match taking place today. It's the North Queensland Cowboys who lead the Rabbitohs 16 points to 6. Andrew Moore and the team on Wednesday night on ABC Listen. All the rivalry between the Blues and the Maroons. The Bulldogs lead by 8 points as the second half gets underway. Here's Ben Cameron.
Gawn wins the tap down. Cozzy Pickett bursting out of the middle. Handball to no one in particular. Taking it for the Dogs, Kennedy gives it off to Richards. Pickett turns tackler. Ball jars out. Sanders just steals it from all of them. Takes off with it. Kicks a high ball inside 50. Lever, strong punch away. Lands in the lap of Treloar. Dogs back with it. 1-2 with Sanders. Treloar dumps it on the left boot. Tumbles it into the pocket in front.
Well done.
Tolstrup.
Strong mark.
Defensive mark in front of West.
And he looks for a kick out to the back pocket where Jaff marks for the D's. The Dogs leading by 8 points. Kick around the boundary line where Langdon leads up and takes the mark. So we'll see what adjustments Stephen King might have tried to make at halftime. Melbourne did finish with the last 3 goals. Jack Van Rooyen has a fly on the back of Caulfield. Can't take the mark. Karmas' hand pass away to Dale. He feigns the hand pass and gives it back to Treloar. Karmas slow to rise. Bowie lays the tackle. Kicks over his shoulder. Treloar. Gawn's underneath. Comfortably isn't paid the mark. Not 15. So fires a hand pass out to Pickett. Cozzy up towards half forward. Petty will fly against 2. In front position, Lobb brought down. Might have been taken over the shoulder. And Rory Lobb will get the free kick at right half back for the Dogs.
So Lobb backpedaling. Dogs lead by 8 points. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Melbourne kicked the last 4 goals of the opening half as Lobb kicks up to the wing, and they've turned it over here, the Dogs. Langdon for the Demons, sends them up to half forward. Van Rooyen launching. O'Donnell punches it away. Lands in the lap of Bontempelli. He turns away from a couple. Kicks forward of the wing. Artie Jones has to pick it up. Feeds the handball forward. Away to Norton. Goes back to Artie Jones. There's a D down as well. Langdon's a little sore. Ends up back with Norton. Stabs a pass exquisitely to Croft. And that was well worked by the Dogs. Croft ends up with it 30 metres out, as good as directly in front.
Great of Norton to stay involved in that chain. Be the extra runner coming through once Jones had got the ball. He got the ball to Jones, and he did need some support in that scenario. As the replay shows Marcus Bontempelli getting out of the Jack Steele tackle midfield. I don't know how he does that sometimes. But that extra possession from Norton was critical in the whole thing.
Recalled from the VFL. Croft kicks truly. And the Dogs just steady to start the second half.
Good.
And a run of 4 consecutive Melbourne goals. 9-3-57 plays, 6-7-43. 2.5 minutes into the third term. Bob Murphy, Daniel Harford.
You mentioned Aaron Norton there, Half, and you're quite right. I mean, his athleticism is quite astounding for a key position player. Very fast, can cover the ground. He almost played that as a wingman in the build-up there. He's lost a couple of his stablemates. He lost Jamara Ugle-Hagan to the Gold Coast Suns and lost Sam Darcy to a knee injury. So Jordan Croft could be his potential running mate. So it's interesting that those two would team up there. Jordan Croft still in the early part of his career, but the options are many for Jordan Croft. He can just about play anywhere.
How tall do you reckon he is in centimetres?
202.
He's incredible. He doesn't look that at face value. Richards gets the clearance to the Dogs. Kicks for Norton. Just can't hang on to the mark. Here's Croft on cue. Hand pass to Artie Jones. Left forward pocket. 2 goals next to his name. He misses to the left-hand side and a minor score. Jordan Croft, 202 centimetres, but he is just 21 years of age. He's the Dogs massive. By 15.
Massive.
Did you just eyeball that and
I
say
knew he was
202?
big.
Okay.
I knew he was big. I probably went a bit larger than I thought, actually, but 202 will sit.
202. Blimey, Teddy.
So Steele ends up with it after the D's chip it around inside the defensive 50, and Steele will kick it back to Bowie. At fullback here, Melbourne. He chips it up the middle. Spots up Gawn. Gives the handball to the run of Tolstrup. Tolstrup feeds it into the middle. Gets it to Rivers, who whacks a kick up to half forward. Langford comes to the footy and marks. Right on the arc of 50. Had a similar length shot earlier in the game. It was too far out. So wheels around here and thumps it through.
He's starting the circle.
His star continues to rise. Harvey Langford, if you don't mind, from distance, his second. And it's back to 9 points, 9-4-58. Plays 7-7-49, 4.5 into the third.
Yeah, he can be a super flusher when he kicks the ball. That's using a golf term, which I know you love, Bob. He's a super flusher.
I thought it was a plumbing reference for a second. I was having to work pretty hard for it.
Sometimes you do.
Maybe they're one and the same.
Sometimes you do. That felt a bit easier.
Straighten up. First multiple goal kicker for the Demons. Just never quite know where we're going to go. Sunday afternoon footy on ABC Sport. Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy doing their best work in the back row. Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron with Lauren Borden down on the boundary. Gorn up against Rory Lobb. Lobb wins down the tap to Sanders. Hand pass to Richards. Clears a path and drives a kick forward in the direction of Norton, wrestling with Turner. Takes the mark. Norton can't be denied. What's going on with Lever and Will Lewis off the ball as well. But Norton with an impressive contested mark.
Well, Lever's actually Lewis is doing a really good job taking Jack Lever out of the contest.
But he got a block work.
Yeah, but he's limited his impact. What's Lever had for the afternoon? I wouldn't have thought too many. Five disposals. And
He
no
started well,
yeah.
Lever. It's like almost an adjustment there that they've made from the coach's box, and Lewis has had a good impact.
4 marks.
4 marks, yeah. In comes Aaron Norton from directly in front. He steers through his first of the game and continues his impressive run. A goal in every game so far in 2026. He kicked 5 the last time these two sides did meet. The Bulldogs 10-4-64 to Nam. The Demons 7-7-49. The margin is 15 points the Bulldogs' way as we tick past 6 minutes in the third quarter. Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy with you.
Well, that's the Bulldogs at their best. Under the roof, Ed Richards with the ball in his hands, middle of the ground, and just straight at the goals. That's from any era of footy right there. And Aaron Norton, I mean, there's contested marks and then there's contested marks. That was the ladder. That is the real deal. That's under extreme pressure. And when Aaron Norton is in good form, this is a little bit subjective, but it feels like the pressure of his mitts on the ball is about as close to a ball being popped as you get at AFL level. It's just a strong set of scratches on him, Huff.
Josh Tracy, maybe the other.
Yep, good nomination.
Name is Chandler out of the middle for the D's, kicks into the pocket. Petty can't get there, goes tumbling over his opponent O'Donnell. It is a 14-game goal streak here at Docklands for Aaron Norton as well. He does like it beneath the lid. Throw in right forward pocket here for Melbourne. Going under the name of Nam at the moment. 15 points. The Bulldogs lead. Spun back in. Tap to the back there by Gorn. Coming through Steele. And Bontempelli pinches it. Back pocket. Gives it away to Butterick. Kicks the Dogs up to the wing. Bouncing ball.
Where it's gathered by Turner. Hand pass a little wide for Bowie. And it'll be a lasso free kick going the way of the Bulldogs. And Artie Jones will take it.
I'm going to need you to read that top SMS from Michael and Hewenville too, Clinchy.
Okay, give me a second. Artie Jones veers out to the right. Dogs by 15 points. Kicks up towards half forward. Norton in from the side. Can't take the mark against Turner and Lever, but did crash the pack. Hand pass over the top from Rivers. Chopped off in the end. Frazier, long to West. Body superbly.
Brilliant.
Bounced into Tholstrup and was able to cling on to the mark.
He bench pressed him.
He did,
That's
and that's Riley West at his best.
He's a bench presser.
He is.
He loves pressing the bench.
He does.
Hasn't he got a ridiculous number in the gym or something?
I think the power to weight ratio is high with Riley West.
That was great craft. Had to get him away. Was falling away from the ball, but still brought himself the space to get to the drop of it.
Has a goal already so far this afternoon for his second, and to extend the Bulldogs' lead from the left forward pocket, Riley West does the job. And the Bulldogs are out by 21 points. West with his second. Had a career best 39 goals last season. He's up to 9 so far for this year. The Dogs 11-4-70 to Melbourne. Nam 7-7-49. Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford, your experts on ABC Sport. As Michael says on the SMS 0437 774 774. Listening and enjoying whilst feeding the horses in Tasmania. Wondering as Harford Murph go to it, should the broadcast box be called the Spice Rack? That's from Michael.
Like that.
I like it.
The Spice Rack.
It's a bit spicy sometimes.
Mm-hmm. I think it's what we need sometimes.
Yeah.
A little bit pugilistic, sort of start needling each other, and I think it brings out the best in all of us.
No arguments here. I like it. Welcome to the Spice Rack. What's your favourite spice?
Oh, gee whiz. I need a moment. I don't want to waste that with a clumsy answer.
Gorn bringing it down. Restart in the middle of Docklands, and we'll get a secondary ball up.
Accidentally throw out cumin and then just reconsider it all afternoon.
There'll be no coriander, I'll give you that much.
That was the first one that came to my mind as well. As
disgusting.
Chandler hurries the kick inside 50 for Melbourne off the hands of Buku Khamis. O'Donnell roved. Handball to Selwood, chopped off by Cross. Handball to Fridge, and Dale gets him. He was a little lax there, Bailey Fritsch.
Oh, no, he's cooked. Whatever happened, he was toast. And Bailey Dale did a great job just sitting off him just a little bit to let him get it.
Ball up. Gawn takes it out of the ruck. Kicks it 1 metre. Petty ends up with it. Handball to Fritsch. Snaps on goal. Smothered by Caulfield. Ricochets to the pocket. Jefferson bundles it out as he's bundled out. Throw in left forward pocket. Dogs by 21. They've kicked 3 goals to 1 in the second half after Melbourne kicked the last 4 of the first half.
Dogs got out by 33 points in the second quarter before Melbourne rattled it back with the last 4 goals of the half. Thrown back in. Gawn up against Crofts. Gawn just comfortably flicks it over the back into the path of Sparrow. Side sets the couple. Hand pass to Langdon. Snaps across his body. Petty's in the goal square wrestling with Karmas. He palms it down. Jefferson trying to toe poke it but misses to the left-hand side of the left goal post and through for a minor score. The Bulldogs lead is 20 points at the 11-minute mark of the third term.
Dale to take the kick in. Was that a high IQ play there from Harry Petty? Did he know what he was doing, or did he just drop the mark and it ricocheted back to the goal square for Jefferson?
I think he just dropped the mark.
Dale with the kick in.
Very negative from Harford.
West bites off the kick on the 45. It all opens up for O'Donnell and the Bulldogs. Driving ball inside 50. Croft launching at it. Jath punches it away. Gathering at centre half forward for the Dogs. Treloar to Jones to the Bont, who chips it through a car window right onto the chest of Lewis. Somehow it went through a maze of bodies and ended up with Lewis 45 out on a 45-degree angle.
Well, that's because Sir Marcus Bontempelli had the ball in his hands, and he does that sort of stuff. Harry Potter style. Just makes things happen once he weaves his wand.
You're a wizard, Marcus.
He was very, very good. It's a good kick. And Lewis again, like he's creating some real drama for the defensive system of Melbourne, full stop.
Veers out to the left, boot to ball from 50. The drop punt's pretty good. It's into the woodwork. Bulldogs lead by 21. 12 played, third term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
There's no breeze in that pocket. That's not the pocket with the breeze. Just for those concerned.
Any pocket you in the brain.
There is.
Bowie brings the Demons back into play, takes a couple of bounces and tries to wait a kick.
Another through ball.
To the run of Turner, who was bumped on by West, and now a 50-metre penalty.
That's his second.
West again.
Yeah. He's done the same thing again.
He's done the same thing again.
Turner was sort of trying to pull up, and West just bounced into his middle of his back and in the umpire's eyes. Initiated contact after the mark had been paid. It's a
barreled through him.
Big penalty to be taken from the wing to inside 50. And Turner, the defender, a chance to try and kick his second goal this season. He's almost directly in front, just 25 metres out from goal.
That's not it, is it?
I don't think that's it.
That's not it. That felt like it was different to the first one.
Yes, I agree with that.
9 disposals for Daniel Turner this afternoon. The defender come forward now as he tries to put through a goal to answer back for the Demons. He likes it the moment it struck his boot and puts it through for the Demons. Keeps them in this contest. A 15-point lead the Bulldogs way. 11-5-71 to Nam 8-8-56. The Bulldogs with 3 goals to 2 so far in this third quarter through 13 minutes. Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford, your experts. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Would you send the runner out to Riley West if you were Luke Beveridge right now, Half?
No.
But you can send him out to put his mind at ease. So you have the first one, you cost us. That one, don't worry about it. Get on with it.
Yeah, I
waste or a waste. Is that wastage of runner?
I think it's a waste of a message.
Okay.
I reckon he'd be better off just, if there's no message, it's a good message.
Okay. Bad news travels fast,
Correct.
as they say.
Yes. Correct. No message is a good message, I reckon, these days.
Back in the middle. Heath flicking it down, and then Sparrow. High kick coming through Fritsch. Windsor gathers it at the fall of the ball. Harry Sharp to keep his goal streak going. Finishes. And these Demons, they can score in a hurry. 9 points the Bulldogs lead, whittled away to again. 11-5-71 plays 9-8-62, nearing the quarter-hour mark of the third.
This is what they do, the Melbourne Demons in 2026. They just hang in there. And they do make adjustments on the fly. I was critical of them, particularly in the first quarter and parts of that second quarter, for going too wide and too slow. When they go direct, and that's exactly what they did on that occasion, they look a lot more dangerous. This is not the MCG. under the roof here, you can get a bit of purchase, and it's a quick way. Shortest way to home is up the middle, and both sides, when they go direct, look pretty dangerous.
Got to sort out the centre bounce. 14-5.
Max Heath rises, can't get a decisive tap, and now he might be penalised, lying over the top of the footy, and Rory Lobb and a few others are on top of him. So the 8th individual goal kicker for the Demons, Sharp, as Lobb takes the kick, drives it inside 50. Up went Tholstrup. He's able to knock it down and then gather it himself. Kicks out towards Petty. He leads up. O'Donnell let him go, and he marks at left half back for Melbourne. Now pass around the back to Sparrow, who takes a bounce. Looks up towards half forward. Fritsch is the offering, and Jefferson. Buku weaks him underneath. And Karmas takes the mark for the Dogs across half back. Comes inboard for Treloar.
Gee, they got numbers in the middle.
They are open. Over the top to Kennedy. He looks up. Riley West one-on-one with Tholstrup. Can't take the mark. Did Tholstrup make contact? He did, says the umpire.
Yep.
And Riley West will have it in the right forward pocket. Tough at shot. He's 45 out from home.
He probably didn't need to either, Tholstrup. He had him cold, I reckon. He's got the arm around him, and the contact wasn't overly significant, but the arm around, that's the trigger for the umpire to give you the free kick away. Didn't need to do it. But great movement, great counteracting movement from the Dogs there through the middle.
Riley West with 2 goals so far this afternoon. He'll start from outside 50, out to the right. The Demons can score quickly. The margin back to 9. West trying to restore some order. It's across the face of goal. Jaff hasn't dealt with it yet. Still alive. Woolworths. Was he taken high? He threw the head back. Umpire says no. We'll ball it up in the left forward pocket for the Dogs. Nervous moment for Jaff and also Cross, who came in aggressively.
Lobb taking it out of the ruck. Forward pocket here for the Dogs. Treloar might have inadvertently socketed it out. No throwing coming. I mentioned Harry Sharp, one of 8 players to have kicked a goal every game this year. So keeps that streak going, Harry. We love his parents, Wayne and Bree. Spoke to him about them.
I've never met
last week post game. It is out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, they've gone to the arc. I was going to say, we missed one before, I reckon, but they've got this one right. They've gone upstairs now to look at this, no doubt.
Rivers, short kick, away to Windsor. He gallops to the back flank. Sends a long kick for the Demons up to the wing. Massive pack forms. Off the hands, Jefferson, stripped of it. And he'll win a free kick. So the Dogs by 9 points. Last 2 goals of the game going the way of the D's. 3 goals apiece in the second half.
Yeah, more direct now, the D's.
Kick up towards half forward. Fritsch presents, can't take the mark. Sharp dragged off it by Bramble. McNeil can't get a clean disposal away as Richards lays the tackle, and it's locked to the chest of Paddy Cross, I should say. The Bulldogs by 9 points. Thrown up. Lobb and Gawn. Pickett's on the move. Can't gather. Bontempelli can. Sends the ball up the wing. In front, Rivers marks against West.
Good grab.
Be careful, Riley.
There's a bit going on. He's given away a couple of 50-metre penalties. As Trent Rivers plays on, sends it high inside the 50. Where's Van Rooyen? He sets himself. Can't get a run at it. Gawn in front. Pleads for a free kick. It's gathered by Joel Frazier for the Dogs. Hand pass away to Richards. At left half back, he sends the Bulldogs up the wing. Lewis gets rid of Jaff. Cleared a path for Croft. And Croft comes in to take the mark for the Dogs centre wing.
Croft.
Oh,
shanks his kick. That's a shocker. Off the side of the boot. And the mark taken by Laurie at fullback, or at centre half back, I should say, for the D's as he kicks out towards the back flank. Finds Howes. He'll kick around the city wing. And just shoots Bailey Fritsch and picked off by Selwood. Dogs ball. Handball to Jakes. Handball to Bontempelli. To Caulfield. And he's decapitated. Free kick going to Caulfield. Chandler overzealous on the tackle.
First blemish from the skipper there. Marcus just put his teammate under a bit of pressure. Fortunately for the Bulldogs, the tackle was high.
Bulldogs by 9. 19 minutes into the third term. Kick to Karmas, who kicks it away to Bramble. He snaps it bizarrely onto Lobb, under the pump from Sharp, and then he coughs it up, Lobb. Gawn can pick it up, give it up, kick it, spent it before he had it, left it behind, has to tackle now Bramble. Umpire wants it, ball up on the wing, they were out the D's, and it slipped through the fingers of Cozzy Pickett.
The sense of opportunity is getting to both teams at the moment.
Slapped away the way of the Dogs. McNeil trying to knock it away. Langford comes in for Melbourne. Hand pass across. It was a good take. Up towards Chandler. Caught behind. Buttering was strong.
It's gone up a notch.
Hand pass out to Richards. Got it to Bontempelli to McNeil. All of a sudden, it's gone up some tempo. Windsor surely was taken high. No whistle, and the umpire eventually now says it's going to be a free kick Neil's way.
Just gone up a couple of cogs, half.
Yes.
Bulldogs by 9 points. McNeil short to Bontempelli. Bramble run down. Holding the ball. Melbourne take it back. Sparrow lays the tackle on the wing.
Had a week, took a fortnight.
Chandler receives it. Kicks long inside 50. Van Rooyen, not quite the sticky fingers he needed. Butterick gathers. Steele tackles him. Ball up. Certainly it has got hot in this third term. Ball up, 40 out from the attacking goal for the D's. Gawn slaps it boundary side. Langford tracks it. Can't run it in.
Well, we were talking about spices earlier in the last 5 minutes. This one has just had chili flakes sprinkled all over it. The heat has gone right up half. Don't worry about the coriander. Chili flakes.
It's got two names, coriander. It's a stupid one. Cilantro. What's that?
Bulldogs by 9. Gawn slaps it to the back. Chandler running a little
kick.
Curve around the back. Kicks laterally.
I know.
In the end,
Good
Laurie
option.
gathers centre half forward. Drills the D's to full forward. And Butterick stands tall defensively. Marks 30 out from the Dogs' defensive goal. They're holding on to that 9-point lead. 21 into the third.
3 goals apiece so far in this third quarter. Bulldogs got out by 33 points in the second quarter. Kennedy in the back pocket for the Dogs, up towards Lewis. Gawn in from the side, couldn't complete the mark. Got a free kick
to
for
Lewis.
hold.
Yeah.
Going the way of Lewis.
Yeah, he's got thick in this stadium. It's hard to breathe for these blokes. There's a bit of pressure.
Into the middle of the ground.
Needle.
Kick looking for Fraser.
Oh,
Can't
wow.
take the mark. Langdon emerged with it. Hand pass to Chandler. Draws an opponent in West. Gives it to Steele. Hand pass away to Sparrow. Still in the middle of Docklands. On his right boot. Drives it inside 50. Jefferson. Van Rooyen there. Good spoil from Caulfield. Racing back Bramble for the Dogs. Gathers. Langford put the pressure on. Jaff now racing after it. Can't take it cleanly. Bramble picks it up for the Dogs at half-back. Hand pass looking for Lewis. Pinched by Windsor. Dragged down by one arm. Holding the ball. And Lewis wanted to let Windsor know about it. And the umpire will be a little reluctant for these two to continue on. So he says, get back, Lewis. Take your free kick at half-back.
What, he got a boot on it?
Yep, he did.
Little unlucky there.
Oh,
Lewis runs into the man on the mark and kicks it into Windsor. And maybe we get the result we deserved anyway.
The umpire's called lasso and would be against Windsor, but I reckon they'll go upstairs and have a look at this.
There's a bit happening.
Is there ever?
Forget about the spices. This is like a gumbo.
It's a gumbo.
Oh, down in south of America, like a spicy soup.
Right.
Delicious.
So we've got the conference here. It is a lasso, and it will be Langford's free kick, will it? No, he has to come stand the mark. So free kick going the way of Lewis.
Does that avoid the embarrassment of the last moment for him?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, bit of an aftertaste.
Lewis kicks up to a contest on the wing. Gawn and Lobber there. Norton too. Off the hands of the pack. McNeil. Hospital handball away to Kennedy.
Chili
Coughs it
flakes.
up.
Chili flakes everywhere here.
And now Cozzy Pickett gets the handball away towards Max Gawn, close to the boundary line, and Cozzy will come in and carry it out.
We need milk. We need milk. Stat.
Dogs by 9 points, 23 minutes into the third.
Matt Cletch and Ben Cameron calling the action. Lauren Borden down on the boundary. Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy, your experts on ABC Sport. The Bulldogs by 9 points. Earlier it was the Giants by 78 over the Brisbane Lions. Gawn wins down the tap. Chandler tries to slap it away from Richards. That'll work. Gathered by Langford. Tries to continue the hand pass forward to Steele, to Chandler, to Sparrow, all around the wing. High kick inside 50. Van Rooyen the target. Jefferson's there as well. Selwood comes in from the side. Knocks it down for the Dogs. Van Rooyen gathers. Interestingly, tried to kick it forward to Laurie, who screws around his body and just misses to the right-hand side. All of a sudden, this game has gone up a few notches. And it's the Bulldogs who lead by 8 points.
Butterick, exiting kick, out to Fraser. Got some space on the wing, goes for a little run. Runs a long way, kicks up towards the logo, bouncing ball, Rivers.
That's not it.
There for the man in the darker red and blue. The Demons back with it, little 1-2. Howe's working it out with Bowie. Bowie waits a kick to the wing. And Langdon comes up to mark.
It's a game that's lacked a lot of composure in the last 8 minutes.
It's been very scrappy, hasn't it? 24 minutes into the third. Dogs by 8. Langdon kicks up to the wing. Jefferson marks at the back on his chest. Wheels and goes. Kicks to full forward. Off the hands of Langford. And rushing it through Hines. Umpire says that's okay. Not a lot of pressure there, but all clear. Dogs by 7. They are white-knuckling it at the moment, holding on for dear life.
Oh, boy.
A lace-out kick from Butterick, which finds the chest of Caulfield. Barely got 3 or 4 metres off the ground. Bulldogs lead by 7 points. They led by 33 in the second quarter.
It's a good sign for the Ds. The Bulldogs love going in the middle and direct, and they've been able to slow them down and force them wide as soon as that ball came back into play.
Sanders gets it. Chips a kick out to Bramble. Melbourne haven't led since the opening behind of the match. Kick looking for Hines. He's under pressure now. Tackled. Gets a hand pass up to Lewis. Tries to clear a space for Ponsonpelli. Gathers against the boundary line. Hand pass to Lob. Look out. Here comes the tackle. And he's dragged down in front of the Melbourne fans who lean over the fence in applause. And the tackle came from Sparrow. In fact, it was Howes. He only knows one way as he throws him to the turf in front of the Bulldogs bench. The Dogs 11-5-71 to Melbourne 9-10-64.
Gee, they've adjusted well, the Demons. They're going more direct when they get the ball, but their team defence all of a sudden looks so much more connected.
Last goal 10 minutes ago, all of a sudden. So a little arm wrestle here. Cozzy Pickett gathers the loose footy, runs away with it, takes a bounce and a second. He'll take a third as well. Thinks about giving it off to Langford. Fourth bounce instead. Chips it short for Petty. And that is so pretty from Cozzy Pickett. You come to the footy to watch that. And Petty will kick for goal from 25 out. Tight angle right forward pocket.
Well, we're waiting for someone to do something to break the game open, and that might have been the moment there with Cozzy. Picked it up, the ground ball, and said, I'm just going to have a crack here, and if you can get me and you're good enough, then I'll cop it.
Oh, Petty retreats. Kicks right back to 49 metres out.
I don't mind that.
And Chandler accepts it, points to the goal, Babe Ruth style, and will go back and kick for goal.
Here's a nice kick of the football. I don't know if he's a super flusher.
Yeah, I think he's a super flusher.
You think he's a super flusher? And we're talking about golf. Let's be clear.
Correct.
Golf.
Okay. Clean strike of the ball.
Has kicked a goal in his last 6 games, Cade Chandler. Arcs out to the left.
Flush.
Puts it on the boot and sends it home. Melbourne are looming. From 33 points down, it's back to a solitary point. 11-5-71 plays 10-10-70. 27 minutes into the third. We saw a great comeback here yesterday.
Yes.
Might be seeing another.
Well, it's 42 points, wasn't it, yesterday? It's 33 points. 43, sorry. One off for 33 points here today. But what about the explosion from Cozzy Pickett from the contest? I mean, that's what we haven't seen anyone be able to do. Anyone be able to break into space in this last 12 minutes of footy. It's been really congested and pressurised.
Is there too many players in the comp where you can look up and see Harvey Langford and said, I'm going to use you as a blocker and cut around you as I run past you?
And then Harvey doesn't block him.
It just used him as a decoy, really, to get away from an opponent.
He was so upset about being ignored that he goes, well, I won't shepherd then.
But a good decision by
Good old days. Get the wings out.
Yes.
Get the
It's
wings
almost
out.
a thing of the past, isn't it?
It is.
The shepherd.
Demons with the last 3 goals of the match as Gawn gets the clearance. Hand pass to Windsor, bumped off it. Sanders fires a hand pass forward. Awkward bouncing ball for Turner. McNeil to Richards. Hand pass to Sanders. The Dogs inside 50. Kicks towards the teeth of goal. Lewis going back. It might clear them all. Turner just got a touch to it. Back with a flight. Lewis just had to try and block the goal line. But some great work from Daniel Turner. A minor score. Bulldogs by a point. Make that 2.
So Bowie to take the kick in. Amble's out. Thumps it long. Out towards the city wing. Through the hands of the pack. Quick to recover Howes though. Nice pick up around the bootlaces too. Kicks the D's up to half forward. Bouncing ball. Still tumbling on. Up to half forward now for Melbourne. Karmas goes in for the Dogs. Comes away with the footy. Out to Butterick. Chips it to Fraser. Defensive point of the square here for the Western Bulldogs. Their last goal 8 minutes into this third term.
Oh,
Fraser
wow.
kicks up the middle and Richards makes it his.
Now he's got Artie by himself.
Richards veers onto his left. Sends it in the Artie Jones direction at half forward. Goes to ground. Jones got a push. Free kick to Artie Jones. Right on the arc of 50. 45-degree angle.
It's there, isn't it? And
Yep.
the umpires are keen to pay it.
Kicked back-to-back goals in the second term, Artie Jones. 3 minutes apart.
Yeah, chopped his arm, that's fair.
Does he have the distance from here?
Super flusher?
I don't think so.
No.
Artie Jones veers out to the right. Likes the look of it. It'll go right to the line. Gawn's back there. Stays in play. McNeil keeps it in. Forward pocket for the Dogs. Handball to Norton. Look out. Gets it on the boot and goals. Lightning hand to foot from Norton as Chankwath Jouth closed. And like Melbourne, they were closing too, but the Bulldogs keep them at arm's length. It's back to 8 points. 12-6-78. Plays 10-10-70. 30 minutes into the third.
It was a good call by you, Half. Artie Jones didn't quite have the journey, just outside 50. That's a good finish from Aaron Norton. Just the speed at which he could get the ball from hand to his boot. And I don't want to be disparaging of left footers, but they don't love kicking on their right foot historically. That was very quick, under a heap of pressure, and just when the Dogs needed it. Give themselves a little bit of breathing space and stop the momentum of this barnstorming Melbourne Footy Club.
Max will be annoyed he couldn't get that over the goal line. That's vintage, or bread and butter for Max to be able to just punch that ball over the line. They weren't able to do that. Cost them a goal.
Here goes Cosy once more out of the middle. Gets a hand pass away to Steele. Melbourne inside 50. Petty, Van Rooyen both there. Petty had hands to it. Can't complete the mark. Hand pass. He's tackled by Selwood. Cross around the body. Oh. Paddy Cross, the mature age recruit, finishes from 15 metres out. Turning and snapping on his left. And it's back to a 2-point ball game. These two sides, the up and down nature of this contest in this third quarter, in which it's been 5 goals for Melbourne and 4 goals for the Western Bulldogs. The Bulldogs 12-6-78 to Nam 11-10-76. 31 minutes gone in the third term. Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy with you on ABC Sport.
It's another centre restart win for the D's. Everyone fanned out right from the contest. Find the right footers that might have got their hands on the ball there for the Demons, but Cross was able to just cut back through on his left. No one was really ready for it.
No, it was a powerful first step, wasn't it?
Yeah, good little shimmy.
Bang.
Bang. Yep, good on the replay. Great finish.
SSP pick in 2026. Back in the middle of Docklands. Back underway. Windsor trying to pick it up. Can only knock it to Bontempelli. Dogs back the other way. Handball to Richards. Handball into the mark. Langford takes it. Melbourne ball. Gets it away to Steele, who kicks out wide. And here's the goal kicker Cross. Dogs by 2 points. Only 10 seconds remaining in the quarter. So the bench says get it long. Inside 50 he goes. Pack forms. Off the hands. Bailey Dale there for the Dogs. Tackled by Petty. Gets rid of it to Selwood. He's caught. Time expires. And this game is perfectly set up. 2 points, the Bulldogs lead. The goal kickers for the Dogs, Bontempelli 2, West a couple as well. Richards, Jones and Norton the same. Singles to Croft and to Lewis, while for Melbourne, Langford with 2. Singles to Turner, to Gawn, to Tolstrup, Laurie, Rivers, Sharp, Petty, Chandler and Cross. 12-6-78. Plays 11-10-76, the Dogs by 2.
The Bulldogs led by 10 points at quarter time. They got out by 33 points in the second quarter before the D's cut it back to 8 points at half time, and it's a Western Bulldogs lead by 2 points at three-quarter time. The Demons have not led since the opening behind of the match, despite closing within a point. The Bulldogs were able to once more answer that challenge, and we're set up for what should be an enthralling final term. Nam looking to move to 8 wins and 3 losses, while the Bulldogs are trying to snap a losing streak of 5 of their last 6 to get back onto the winners list at 5 wins and 5 losses. It's great to have your company on a Sunday afternoon on ABC Sport.
Get your documentary fix on ABC iView.
We have an industry that's just running riot.
Like Sean McAuliffe's Going for Broke.
Last spin, come on.
Todd Sampson's Why.
The best things in life are on the other side of fear.
And more. Streaming now on ABC iView.
On ABC Local Radio, Sport Digital, and on ABC Listen. This is Sir Doug Nicholls Round with ABC Sport.
Ends up back with Norton, stabs the pass exquisitely to Croft. And that was well worked by the Dogs. Croft ends up with it 30 metres out, as good as directly in front. Recalled from the VFL, Croft kicks truly. And the Dogs just steady to start the second half. Tolstrup feeds it into the middle, gets it to Rivers, who whacks a kick up to half forward. Langford comes to the footy and marks right on the arc at 50. Had a similar length shot earlier in the game. It was too far out, so wheels around here and thumps it through. His star continues to rise. Harvey Langford, if you don't mind, from distance, his second. High kick coming through Fridge. Windsor gathers it at the fall of the ball. Harry Sharp to keep his goal streak going. Finishes. And these Demons, they can score in a hurry. Cosy Pickett gathers the loose footy, runs away with it, takes a bounce and a second. He'll take a third as well. Thinks about giving it off to Langford. Fourth bounce instead. Chips it short for Petty. And that is so pretty from Cosy Pickett. You come to the footy to watch that. Petty retreats, kicks right back to 49 metres out, and Chandler accepts it, points to the goal, Babe Ruth style, and will go back and kick for goal. Arcs out to the left, puts it on the boot, and sends it home. Melbourne are looming.
This is Sir Doug Nicholls Round on ABC Local Radio, Sport Digital, and on ABC Listen.
The Demons with 5 goals to 4 in that third quarter to close the margin to 2 points the Western Bulldogs way. 12-6-78 to Naarm, the Demons 11-10-76. While earlier today it was the GWS Giants with a big win, 78 points over the Brisbane Lions. They booted 14 goals to none in the second quarter, the highest ever third quarter in VFL AFL history. And the news, unfortunately, on the injury front, ACLs to Jamie Elliott for the Magpies and Matt Carroll for the Blues, while a serious hamstring injury to Darcy Moore and unfortunately a dislocated shoulder for Will Hayes. The final game of Sir Doug Nicholls round 11 of the AFL could be going down to the wire. And your thoughts on the SMS 0437 774 774. Rob from New Zealand says, doesn't matter who is playing, Sunday evenings listening to Murphy and Harford is a wonderful way to end the weekend. Incisive analysis and quirky humour. Thanks to Rob. Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron calling the action. Lauren Borden down on the boundary. Here's the thoughts of Harf and Bob.
Well, we've talked a lot about the Melbourne Footy Club and how they've appeared different in 2026 under Stephen King, and we talk about, you know, their ball movement being more instinctive and how they hang in their resilience. But one thing that has stood out for me today, more so than any other week, is that Stephen King, above all else, he's got his players' ear, because the first quarter they played the wrong style of footy for the opponent and for the conditions, and they've been able to adjust, and that's not an easy thing. So what I gauge from that is that up in the coach's box, Stephen King and his coaches can pick that up, and then they can get down and their players are able to make those adjustments on the fly, because the way that third quarter looked compared to the first quarter, that was a Melbourne Footy Club that were just hungry to defend. They were connected in terms of their spacing and how they defended, but their direct ball use towards goal was in absolute contrast to how they started the game. So we've now got an absolute ding-dong battle of a game of footy on, and a real street fight. But the adjustment Melbourne made is really promising.
Oh, I know it's not an exact or exactly what you mean by he's got their ear. You sort of mean they can understand the message that he's trying to give them. But even just looking down at them, a very tight huddle at three-quarter time, normally there's sort of one guy looking at the big screen, listening to the music and the ground announcer. Someone's looking at their boots. They were locked in listening to Stephen King as he gave that message there.
Yeah, we've got a little Snoop down on the boundary line who can spy the messages that's on the whiteboard. Lauren Borden has been down there for us. I wonder if
MI6.
MI6, we'll call her from here on in. I wonder if she's been able to see what's on the board at three-quarter time, what Stephen King might have been trying to get through to his Demons.
Yeah, a little bit more on defence from him was use the numbers, so he wants them to outnumber in defence. So there was probably a lot of the key messages I was seeing was around his defence and wanting them to get numbers behind and to use that. But he was a little bit late getting to the huddle as well, whereas Luke Beveridge came down quite early. He beat the rest of his assistant coaches down actually and kind of went for a jog and sat on the bench. But Stephen King a little later, but he obviously puts a lot of thought into the messages on the whiteboard. He uses a blue marker for whatever that's worth.
Only fools rush in. That's what Elvis said as well. So late, or not rushed.
It's just time. 3 votes for Al Borton on the boundary this afternoon. The Bulldogs by 2 points as we enter the final term. Gawn gets down the opening tap to Cosy Pickett. Up to half forward. Chandler worked underneath. And the mark is taken by Connor Butterick. It's
been good, Butterick.
Short to Ed Richards, who was one of a number who got a lot of the footy in that third quarter.
It's good on the spread.
He kicks out towards O'Donnell, back in the lineup. One of 5 changes for the Bulldogs this afternoon. Cuts back on his left-hand side. High kick giving Norton a chance in the Flyers. Gawn's got back. Can't gather it as he knocks it away from Lobb. It does ricochet back to Gawn. Kick smothered. Pickett goes in. Feeds a hand pass back to Tholstrup. He looks to kick out towards half-back. It's over the head of Langford. Bouncing ball for Van Rooyen. Tries to get a hand pass away. Chopped off by O'Donnell. Sends the Dogs inside 50. Lewis against the boundary line. And in the end, Turner sees it out for a boundary throw in the right forward pocket for the Dogs.
So there you see the Lauren Borden out number. 3-on-2 there in that little scenario as the ball came back inside. Forward 50 for the Demons. Good pick-up, Loz. Good pick-up.
Bulldogs by 2, as they were at three-quarter time. Umpire hurls it back in. Gawn punches it away. Langford ends up with the footy. Hines has got him.
Right.
Somehow gets rid of it. Spills out towards West. Snaps it back to the hot spot. No one can mark. At ground level. Langdon coming in. Norton still trying to pick it up. Gets the handball back to Jakes. He fumbles. Allows the D's in. Steele picks it up. Now they're away through Langdon. Away to Chandler. He fumbles it. Bailey Dale picks it up. Chisels it inside 50 for West.
Hard ball to try and gather. Pickett tries to knock it away from him. Got it to Langford, to Sparrow. Hand pass to the voice. Tholstrup missed him. Tholstrup's tackle, little high almost.
Yeah,
no
bad
whistle
angle for the umpire, but it
Will
was
Lewis,
high.
and it spills out to Pickett once more. Cozzy from left half back for the Demons. Up to the leader, Paddy Cross. It's a goal in the third quarter. The Demons trailing by 2 points.
I reckon you win this game, Matty, by doing the easy thing really well, and often in this last quarter. I reckon Bailey Dale tried to bite off a bit much in that last entry for the Dogs.
Cross's kick up towards Petty, can't take the mark. Kennedy gathers, hand pass to O'Donnell. He's tackled by Jacob Van Rooyen, and the umpire will board up at left half forward for the D's. It's a 2-point lead the Bulldogs' way. 2 minutes gone, final term.
Maybe the curse of the gifted there for Bailey Dale. Such a good kick. He thinks he can hit any of them. As Gawn taps it down, and Artie Jones swoops on it for the Bulldogs. Kicks up to the wing. Tholstrup tumbling through the contest. Punches it out of play, thrown on the wing.
It's really developing, Tholstrup, isn't he? Adding different layers to his game.
Bulldogs by 2. 2.5 minutes into the fourth. Stephen King, of course, a member of Luke Beveridge's coaching tree. Was a part of that 2016 Premiership team. Lob out of the ruck, high kick to half forward. Again punched away by the D's, and another throw in on the dock side of the ground. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
So that came up the other day. Someone mentioned, Stephen King, part of the Geelong factory, and Chris Scott. I was like, hey. It was a solid 10 years just about with Luke Beveridge.
It was.
10 years was
it? It was a long time.
Yeah, 2011, and then he left in 2021, I think it was.
Yeah, it was a long time.
Lobb wins down the tap for the Dogs, but straight to Chandler for Melbourne. Sends a high ball up the wing, using his body. Cross. Got rid of Caulfield and tries to send it long to a Fridge one-on-one.
Look at this.
Bouncing ball for Bramble. Trying to get back Buku Kamas. Fridge gathers. Tries to fend off Bramble. Kicks towards the goal mouth. Getting back Sharp. On the mark. Buttering tangles with him. Sharp can't get through the ball. Still there. Artie Jones. Did he get a free kick from the back?
He's going to ping him.
Play on. He's going to play hold of the ball. It's a Melbourne free kick just metres out from their goal line. All sorts of chaos going on. Artie Jones dived on top. Then he thought he had a free kick from the back. Instead, he's been pinged. And Sharp will get the shot on goal from no more than a metre out.
It was there.
Yep.
It was there. Artie Jones, you can't just jump on the footy and hatch it.
So right in front of the Western Bulldogs cheer squad who lean out and voice their disapproval. But the rules are if you dive on top, you've got to knock it out. And Sharp locked it in underneath him, kicked a goal in the third quarter. And for the first time since the opening stages of the first quarter, the Demons lead at Docklands. Sharp puts through his second. And Nam lead by 4 points, 12-10-82 to the Bulldogs, 12-6-78. All of a sudden, 10 of the past 14 goals of the match have gone the way of the Demons. Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford, your experts on ABC Sport.
Well, it was a comedy of errors in the build-up. Bailey Fritsch was a key one-on-one win. Then in the goal square, it was almost like mud wrestling there, and Artie Jones, not used to being deep in defence, just didn't have the presence of mind. You've got to move it on, knock it through, do something. You can't just hatch it. So it's a brave call from the umpire, very close to the Bulldogs cheer squad. I'm sure the feedback would have been swift.
Strongly direct.
Kicked 5 of the last 6 goals in the game now, Melbourne.
Sharp dropped the people's elbow on Jones in the goal square there.
Ethan,
so we got the
lob in the ruck. Coming through, Sparrow, tackled there by Sanders and taken to ground, holding the ball. Sanders with the free kick in the middle.
So the psychology becomes important here for the Dogs. They worked so hard to put themselves in a position, coughed it up a few times, now they're behind.
Sanders from the logo, and Big Max Heath, the big moose, drifts back, takes a defensive mark, the former Saint. 5 years for 4 games at St Kilda, playing more regularly at Melbourne. Marks in the back pocket and kicks up to the wing. Van Rooyen launching, not marking. Dale roving, rushing the kick forward there for the Dogs. Hardy Jones, clever mark. He was tunnelled a little bit by Bowie, has it half forward.
Keen to try and redeem himself. He has it at right half forward. West starting into the pocket. That option dries up. Sends it in the direction of Norton. Won't get to him. Fraser tried to use his body to shove Jaff out of it. Spills to Bontempelli. Hand pass to Sanders. Back to the 50. Dale on the run. Got a lethal boot. It's to the pocket. West goes up. It clears him. And up against the left behind post goes through. Tholstrup came charging through. Almost bounced into the padding. And it is a 3-point lead the way of the Demons.
So historically, let's call it the last 12 years, in these situations has usually been the time when Marcus Bontempelli takes it upon himself to be the match winner for the Bulldogs. He just is able to shift the game his team's way through individual efforts and bringing his teammates into it. But I feel like today, I was just looking at Joel Fraser. He's the heir apparent to Marcus Bontempelli, and he's had a really dirty day, Joel Fraser, and he owes the Bulldogs one for that head rub a little bit earlier. Just going to see if he can find something in this last quarter.
These quickly down the wing on the City side of the ground, ends up with Langdon, breaks the 50, steadies, misses right. That was a good chance, goes begging. Melbourne lead by 4 points. Baby Bont, Joel Fraser, hasn't quite backed up the year he had last year either, Bob.
No,
it's been an indifferent year, and it's been a poor day.
10 disposals for Joel Fraser this afternoon. Melbourne lead by 4 points. As Caulfield brings the Dogs back into play. Drives a long kick up towards half-back. West tries to nudge his opponent in Sparrow underneath it. Clears to the back. Norton onto it. Howes lays the tackle. Ball spills clear. Unable to gather it. Bontempelli now does against Steele. Hand pass away back to Bailey Dale and now to Buttery. He looks for options into the middle of the ground. Just tries to swing it out to O'Donnell. He marks with the kick to right half back. Plays on, runs at Van Rooyen. Still in 2 minds. Now drives it long in the direction of Lewis. Turner engages. In fact, it was Lever who made the spoil. Front and centre picked up by Fraser. Hand pass the lob to the run of Richards. From 50. Bangs through another. Ed Richards puts through his third. And the Dogs answer the Demons' challenge to take back the lead by 2 points. 13-7-85 to Melbourne 12-11-83. The Dogs back in front at the 8-minute mark of the final term. All set up with a rather creative run and kick from half-back, and Ed Richards did the rest.
Well, in review, Stephen King and the defensive line coach for the Demons will look at Chenkwath Jath's positioning. He just took off. As the ball was coming out of halfback, he just took off on the hope that there was going to be more pressure on the kick and he'd be able to be the guy that intercepted the footy, but he got too far ahead of the contest. And then they had the extra number around the contest, which enabled the defender to collapse in, the Dogs to be able to hold out. Richards was the overlap runner, and that was the reason why they got that spare player. So Jath, new to the system, just found himself in no man's land, and that's really costly.
Maybe Richards will take it upon himself. Heath trying to take it out of the middle, coughs it up. Bontempelli hacks it forward for the Dogs. Fraser coming up, can't gather. Langford can for the Demons.
That's
handball
better.
To Steele, handball knocked down from Fraser. Loose ball on the wing, Steele tackles Fraser. And a ball up. Neutral territory, dock side of the ground. Dogs leading by 2. 9.5 minutes into the fourth.
Max Gawn on the bench. Wonder how long he'll be there for as Heath was shepherding Rory Lobb out of it in the eyes of the umpire. Free kick going the Bulldogs' way on the wing. A goal apiece in this final term. Had 3 lead changes in the match. The Dogs back in front after Melbourne kicked the first of the last quarter. Inside 50, Norton out of position. Turner makes the spoil. On the move, Sanders can't gather. West got down low. Little scoop from Tholstrup was okay. It's taken over the boundary line in the end by Windsor for a boundary throw in.
Dead set throw again.
Tony and Fitzroy agrees with you. Daniel Harford is correct on handball interpretation. Over half of throws, especially the two-handed scoop. May as well bring back EJ's flick pass.
Tune in to the AFL Daily podcast tomorrow morning.
Ben Cameron and Daniel Harford there on a Monday morning. Treloar gets a kick forward. Artie Jones just holds his position in front of Bowie and takes the mark. He stretches at the back of his left hamstring. He's never been far from the action, including conceding the opening goal for holding the ball, Artie Jones, to start the final quarter. A chance to go back and try and put through his third.
Which hamstring did he hurt not long ago, Artie? Was it his left?
I think it was.
Just keep an eye on that.
I think if it was serious damage, he wouldn't want to take the kick, but he's on a 45-degree angle.
Rubbish, he's a small forward.
Yeah, I was
30 metres out from goal.
Call half.
Insert Argles round. Artie Jones looking for his third. He leans back and misses to the right-hand side. And a minor score. The Bulldogs lead is 3 points. 11 minutes gone. Final term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Here's Ben Cameron.
Rivers shorting it to the pocket. It's a bad kick. Sets a task for Bowie. Good enough to recover at ground level. Has support from Lever. Turns around Bowie too and sprays his teammate. As Lever and then Jatha caught. Norton pings him holding the ball. Bulldogs free kick. Half forward flank. Looks into the pocket. West leading up. Leaping chest mark. Riley West going north to mark. Deep in the left forward pocket. 20 metres out. A metre in from the boundary line. Right side for a right footer.
It's a good mark.
Plays like a small full forward, doesn't he?
It's a really good mark. Obviously brought about by the horrible kick in from Rivers for the D's.
Already got a couple. Riley West snaps. It's the fat part of the footy across the goal mouth, and Van Rooyen takes a towering mark in defence in the opposite forward pocket. That's the back pocket for the Demons. Doggies by 3, 12 played final term.
Van Rooyen sends it as long as he can up towards Max Gawn. Crofts there. Turner flies from the side. Can't take the mark. Selwood tries to knock it out for the Dogs. Treloar somehow got it clear. I think the umpire eventually said he threw it.
That is a throw. I'm with you on that one, Half. That is a throw.
It's a bit awkward though, Bob and Huff. If we call them throws and the umpire doesn't, it's hard for listeners to follow. Cozzy runs the boundary line, sends it up towards Jefferson at half forward. Croft in from the side, knocked it down. Butterick gathers for the Dogs. Hand pass to Hines, to Treloar, to Puka Kamas in traffic. Almost too slow. He did get boot to ballers. Petty laid the tackle, but too long, says the umpire. Free kick Melbourne's way on the wing.
No drop kicks allowed when you're getting tackled.
Hand pass away to Rivers, who drives Melbourne inside 50. Fritsch is the deepest. Van Rooyen in front as Jefferson shoved out of it.
Gee, that's good from him.
That's a good sign, isn't it?
He's worked in the back pocket 30 seconds ago.
He was the player who just worked his way to the front and held front spot. And there's a bit of shoving going on behind him, but he is a presence, Jacob Van Rooyen, and a chance to return the D's to the lead.
Great work rate. Took that mark strong in the back pocket you talked about before, Clinchy. And as the ball was working up, he just ran. He just pushed himself really hard to get to this position.
Yeah, this is an ominous minute from Jacob Van Rooyen of just his appetite and his ability to get up and down the ground and take big contested marks. Could unsettle the Dogs.
Leading goal scorer for the Demons with 19 goals for the season, and he still hasn't kicked one as he misses to the right-hand side. And it's a 2-point lead the Western Bulldogs way. Lauren Borden on the boundary.
I am definitely keeping watch on Arthur Jones. So when he's running, he looks all right, but when he slows down, he's limping a lot, and he was looking to the bench but hasn't come off.
Maybe just a bit of cramp. Yeah. Starting to tighten up a little bit, Loz.
Bit of pickle juice situation.
Dogs away down the city wing. Bontempelli looping a handball. Away to Baby Bont Fraser. He gives it to Sanders. Up to half forward now. McNeil kicks inside 50. Norton. Vice-like grip. Can't hold on to it. Coming through Lewis. Going in low. Was he taken high? No. Ball up. Left forward pocket for the Dogs. They lead by 2. Nearing a quarter hour in the final term.
Usually gobbles those up, Norton. Just bobbled that one. Missed opportunity.
Gawn slaps it away. Langdon, his great mate, is onto it. Tight roping the boundary line. Kicks up towards the logo. Van Rooyen again gets a hand to it. Keeps his feet. Dogs come in through Caulfield. Regather the footy. Away to Fraser. It's into the middle and Kennedy marks. He's a little bereft, so he goes long. It's a good kick. Will it get to Lewis? No. Lever desperate. Punches it away. Sharp arrives. Inadvertently soccers and carries it out. Throw in right on the elbow of 50 in the boundary line. At half forward here for the Dogs.
Leave the slow to get up here.
Yeah. Landed on the coccyx, I think.
And the umpire said to stop play while the trainers come out. The other stat is the Western Bulldogs have lost each of their last 8 final quarters. So they managed just 18 goals in final quarters. They've conceded 38. So The challenges against the red-hot Demons here. They hold a 2-point lead, but this hasn't been their go, as the trainers are taking Jake Lever from the field, and he doesn't look in a good state either. So Luke Cleary out of the game in the second quarter with concussion. Now he is able to run his way off the field. Jake Lever, which is better news.
Landed sort of on his hip pointer, didn't he?
Yeah, he looks pretty ginger.
Yep.
I don't think it's any head trauma to worry about, which is nice, but it does look pretty ginger. He's going to need to get back out there. He's been pretty important the last 5 minutes or so.
So structurally it changes Melbourne, get Petty into defence to try and help out with Lever coming from the field.
Good spice ginger too. Was
Gone out of the ruck against Croft. Can't get a clean hand pass to Windsor. Treloar tries to fend off the Sparrow tackle. Hand pass away to Kennedy. Cuts his right boot to the teeth of goal. Up goes Petty. Makes the spoil with his fist. Foot races on. West tries to get in there in front of Laurie. They two collide at ground level. West tries to shovel out a hand pass. Spills the way of Petty. It's hugged to his chest. And the umpire will ball it up left forward pocket for the Dogs.
I was thinking about it. I think it's cinnamon. It's kind of the sweet spice, isn't it?
That's the correct answer.
Ball up, forward pocket.
It's a golf thing.
Here for the Bulldogs, who work it through hands. Out to Fraser. Off to Kennedy. Fires on goal. Misses the set. Out of bounds on the full. Bulldogs by 2 points. Lauren Borden.
Jake Lever's just been brought down into the rooms by the doctor, who said something to the interchange steward, which makes me think it is a little bit of a head injury assessment. But he was brought down by Jake Lever, who didn't really want to go down to the rooms.
Okay.
Thanks, Lars. Let us know if he emerges. Sharp out of defence. Up towards Jefferson and half back. Brought it down. Sparrow knocks it back to Jefferson. Hand pass past Caulfield. Sparrow tries to get it up to Tholstrup. Tackle dispossessed. McNeil gathers. Dogs off lifted. Hand pass to Caulfield. Long ball to full forward. Norton in the pack. Can't take the mark. Petty's the crummer. Hand pass to Gorn, the rover. Kicks out to Langdon. On the bounce in the back pocket. It trickles away from him. And that's outside the 50. So it could be a lasso free kick, but the umpire says throw it in. Bulldogs by 2 points. 13-8-86 to the Demons. Narm 12-12-84. A goal apiece in this final term through 17 minutes.
It's been that margin for 10 minutes now as well.
Yeah, Bontempelli's just come off the ground for Ed Richards. We'll see how long the champ stays there. I wouldn't imagine it'd be too long.
Throwing half forward for the Dogs. Sanders toe pokes it on. Windsor would be advised to let it roll out, and he did. Lauren Borden.
Jake Lever has gone down to the rooms for a concussion test. Melbourne have just confirmed, so he's out for the game. He can't come back on.
He's gone.
Didn't look like a head injury.
No, did it?
Hopefully he's okay. Windsor goes back to Tolstrup.
Might have been one of those whiplash. Yeah.
Tolstrup back pocket for Melbourne. Thumps the kick up to a contest on the wing. Sanders outpoints Langdon. Bulldogs ball again. Neutral territory, city side of the ground. Dogs have led by 2 points for the last 10 minutes. We're 18 into the fourth. Kicks to a contest in the pocket. Out the back. Windsor there for Narm. Melbourne kicks. Charged down by West. Throwing coming. Left forward pocket for the Doggies.
So Pickett's on the bench for the Demons as well. So it's the last breather for the fire starters. Yes. Bontempelli and Pickett.
13 of the last 16 inside 50s have gone the Dogs' way. Melbourne just inside 50 3 times in this final quarter. They have kicked a goal from that. Lob up against Gorn. Works it to the front. On the move, Sparrow. Kicks a clearing, spiring ball up the wing. The Dogs have the loose. O'Donnell flies from the back. Takes the mark. So they've got the ground well set, the Bulldogs. But it's now a congested forward 50. So O'Donnell just sends a high and long kick inside 50. Have a fly at that. Where's Norton? Gorn's there. Spoils it down with lob. It comes to the front of the pack, where eventually Turner gets a hand pass out. Knocked away by Langdon. Loose ball. Howes tries to knock it away from West. Windsor slides in. Gathers it for Melbourne. Kicks around his body. And a free kick.
Out of bounds.
Oh, out of bounds, before he kick it. So it's going to come back to the boundary line where it meets the 50-metre arc, and a throw in just outside the Doggies' attacking arc. Dogs by 2 points.
I reckon you can afford to get one of your mids or small forwards here from the Dogs just to spit forward from here and just roll the dice a bit. I don't think you're going to get burnt on the way through, but you can create an opportunity.
Boundary throw in, half forward. Lob takes it out of the ruck. Hurries a kick, a high snap towards full forward. Croft can't take it. McNeil bursting through. His handball back towards the Demons players. And Chankwath Jath picks it up. Handball misses Laurie. Allows in Butterick. Butterick zigging, zagging. Court holding the ball. Sharp runs him down. And a Demons ball between the back flank and the wing. Bulldogs still by 2 points. Last goal 12 minutes ago.
Pickett back on.
Sharp sends it up to a contest. Half forward for Melbourne. Van Rooyen launching. Off his hands, spills to himself. Dribbles it inside 50. Fritsch tracking it. getting back, gathered by Fraser, hurries a clearing kick for the Dogs. Doesn't work out, Treloar can't mark, Langford picks it up, half-forward flank for the D's, kicks to full forward, no one there to mark it, bouncing ball, Bramble goes in, scrap in shoes, and it's not coming out, ball up, left forward pocket here for Melbourne.
Who wins, Half and Bob?
The Dogs hold on.
Gawn tries to take another ruck, can't do so successfully. Sparrow bumped off it, Kennedy's kick skews off the boot, goes out on the full, and Melbourne will take it just outside 50. And Langford, Harvey Langford, has 2 goals next to his name. He's keen to take it. Umpire sets the man on the mark just inside the 50, but a tough shot. He doesn't go for it in the end. Puts it to the top of the goal square. Gawn's in the back, spoiled away from behind. It's close to the boundary line. Bramble keeps it in, over Pickett. Hand pass to Richards, has to squeeze the kick. Up towards McNeil. Bowie brought it down. Langford tackled by Jakes. Lost the footy. Spills out. McNeil can't gather. Bowie's over the top. Jakes slides in once more. Norton's up in defence trying to help out. He's tackled with the footy locked to his chest by Rivers, and the umpire will ball it up. It's 55 metres out from Nam's goal. Bulldogs by 2 points.
Draws live as well. Gawn palming it down. Richards hurrying a kick. Up towards the wing for the Dogs. No mark. Ball spills out the back. Clean pick up from Howes of Melbourne. Handball to Petty, to Bowie. Short kick for Gawn. 2 kicks from home here for the D's. Gawn veers out. Sets it up to the hot spot. Marking contest. Off the knuckles. It comes down for Langdon. Walks into an open goal. Now Melbourne in front. Swings the lead around. And they're 4 points to the good, the Demons. 13-12-90. Plays 13-8-86. 22 minutes into the fourth.
They just keep going. They just keep pushing Melbourne. It's not necessarily the system, but they just keep pushing forward. Ed Langdon, who covers an enormous amount of ground, was just given zero respect there. Just waltzed in to a dangerous part of the ground, and it's Joel Fraser again who just gets sucked into the contest and just disrespectful, really, to a quality AFL player, premiership player in Ed Langdon. Fraser just like a bee to the honeypot and not enough defensive intensity. He's had a really poor day.
Becomes the 11th individual goal kicker for the Demons, who are back in front. 4th lead change of the game. Gawn over the back. Bontempelli goes to work. Can't soccer it clear. He's down as Richards got the hand pass from West. He runs away from Sparrow. Inside 50. Kennedy dropped the mark. It spills clear. Bowie's hand pass to Howes, who slipped over. It's getting desperate. And it goes out of play in the left forward pocket for the Dogs.
He couldn't believe it, could he?
No.
He couldn't believe it. Melbourne player in front of him.
Rivers was in front, cleared him. Yep. Kennedy just dropped the mark, and then players slipping over in the left forward pocket for the Dogs.
Oh, the replay.
Oh, if it was a bag of mud, it'd be all over him.
He wasn't a custard tart.
Melbourne by 4 points. 29,708 fans in at Docklands. Down to the wire. Gawn slaps it to the back. Bouncing ball for Langdon. Can't gather. Sanders tries to knock it on. Steele goes to work. Dale gathers the footy. Breaks one tackle. Hand pass to Sanders, too sharp. Here go the D's. Langdon's hand pass to Van Rooyen. Back to Langdon. They run through the middle of Docklands. The Steele.
Oh,
West, what a chase.
Brilliant.
The Dog never gave up, and he reels him in. He's given away a few 50-metre penalties, but he won that battle.
Chevy Chase.
He moves it out wide. Finds Sanders, who sweeps a handball forward to the run of O'Donnell. Left foot kick inside 50. Norton, like Jonty Rhodes. He throws it to himself, kicks infield, and Fraser marks.
Wow.
This is a big moment.
This is
30 out, slightly left of centre.
Good on him. Good on him. Stayed in the contest, stayed in the moment, didn't get worried about what happened a couple of minutes ago. Came forward with the balls. It was progressing down the outer boundary line. Really good awareness from Norton. It looked straight inside once he took that mark.
The more things change, the more they stay the same. It doesn't have to be your day. It can be your moment.
He pondered it. It might not be Bond who wins it. Can it be Baby Bond? Joel Fraser's drop punt is a goal. And the Bulldogs put their noses in front again. 5th lead change. They're 2 points to the good. 3.5 minutes of game time remaining. 14-8-92 plays 13-12-90. Bulldogs do have pretty flat noses, but it's in front at the moment.
That's one of your better ones.
So that's a small margin. That's a small margin.
Geez, well done. With Joel Fraser. He's had one of those sort of afternoons, 16 disposals, but in this final quarter, like a few of the Dogs, he started to get going.
So a bit of redemption for a couple of guys. Now, Riley West kicked up a couple of goals, but he's gave away 2 50-metre penalties and scoring opportunities. And now he's created an unbelievable opportunity on turnover with a big chase-down tackle. Massive chase-down tackle on Jack Steele. And that's how the ball ends up in the hands of Joel Fraser for that shot.
The Dogs desperate to get back on the winners list. They have a lead here. Gawn wins down the tap, taken by Richards. Inside 50, Norton on the bounce, can't gather. Turner corrals him. Norton slaps it away, slipping over Butterick. Jakes can't gather. Well worked by Langford. Gets a hand pass out to half-back. Tough ball for Sparrow. Sockers it to his own advantage. Has Artie Jones hanging off him. It rolls across the boundary line. Lasso free kick. And it will go the Dogs' way. It's tough for the player trying to keep the ball alive there, but Bramble will get the free kick in front of the Melbourne bench. The Bulldogs by 2 points, 14-8-92 to Melbourne 13-12-80. The Dogs have led for so much of the afternoon. Bramble inside 50 in the pack. Turner rises and takes the mark.
Plenty of time for the Demons if they're good enough. Turner back pocket. Long kick up to the wing, looking for Paddy Cross, launching through his hands. Van Rooyen out the back, throws it out. Selwood gathers for the Dogs. Crocodile rolled in the Chandler tackle. And a ball up on the wing. Dogs by 2. 26 and a half minutes into the fourth. Gawn and Lobb lock up. Gawn taps it down and West gathers just as he runs out of room.
So
boundary throw in.
Langdon's gone forward, basically. So he's the open side winger. He's sitting in just inside the forward of 50 at the moment, so he's making Fraser defending. Adds another number in the area.
Sanders has gone to Pickett on ball.
Gee.
Thrown on the wing. Gawn palming it down, looking for Langford. Jake's right there with him, wrenches him off the footy. West manages to get it out. Sanders hurries a kick up to half court for the Dogs. Dropping the mark there, Turner. Spills out to Norton, who snaps from 60. Surely not. Gets the leg break into the post. Base of the post. It very nearly had the Shane Warne leg break. Dogs by 3, 2.5 to play.
As they quickly bring it back into play. Rivers got it from Howes and now to Tholstrup at half-back, up towards Van Rooyen. O'Donnell makes the spoil, bounces out towards the boundary line. Chandler offers chase, he can't get there. And a throw in, 2 minutes and change to go.
That's
Bulldogs by 3 points.
Still time to pull it together here and just do it calmly. You don't have to force anything here.
Dogs with 2 goals 3 to Melbourne's 2-2 in the final term. Dogs led by 10 points at quarter time, got out by 33 in the second quarter. 5 lead changes so far this afternoon. Gawn gets it down to Pickett, dodging and weaving away from Sanders. Hand pass missed Rivers. Artie Jones tackle. Pickett gone. Wins a free kick holding the ball. And Cosy puts his hand up, no advantage. He veers out to the right. Drives Melbourne inside 50. Who to? There's no one leading out. Dale drops the mark. Richards gathers. Gets around Buku Kamas. Hand pass away. And O'Donnell kicks out to Norton, slaps it away from Petty. They compete at ground level. Shoved out of it, Petty by Norton. Hand pass over to Fraser. Taps it on. Norton tries to get a topo. Sharp slides in. Hand pass boundary side. Langdon tries to get it forward to Petty. Hand pass to Steele. Ran into Richards. Gives it back to Petty. Tries to draw the opponent. Sharp ran straight into Butterick. Dropped the ball. Play on's the call. Fraser gets it out. Sanders desperate. Hand pass is loose. Ball's in dispute.
There's a free kick. It'll go to the Dogs.
Chili flakes all over the marble surface at the moment. She's hot.
She warm.
We need milk. Milk.
So the free kick will go to Bailey Dale. Riley Sanders, in fact, will be the recipient.
Tackle just slipped down.
It was scrappy on the wing. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. 2 thrillers at Docklands this week. Sanders stumps it up towards the wing. Marking contest. O'Donnell with a big launch. In front, though, the mark taken by Turner. And then Turner goes away with it for the D's. Kicks around the city wing. Marking contest. No one can take it. Ball hits the deck. Fritsch emerges with it. Handball into the mark. Steele burrows in. So too Karmas. Half forward here for Melbourne. Nothing to do. Steele gets it out to Sharp.
Big one-on-one.
Gets it on the boot. Kicks to full forward. Langford very nearly. Not paid the mark. Ball hits the deck. Caulfield soccers it out. Still a loose footy inside 50. Here's Melbourne. Through Sharp. Kicks to full forward. Then Bramble's back there. He marks at fullback for the Dogs. And tooth and nail, they might have held on.
Just need to be composed now. Bramble to Selwood into the back pocket as the time ticks down.
Get all your numbers across. There's not enough numbers across.
Selwood kicks as long as he can. Bontempelli, Croft, lobs all there. Gawn tries to knock it down, gets to the back. Bontempelli takes the bounce. Fittingly, it finishes in his hands. And the Bulldogs desperately find their way back to the winners list. Trying to revive their season. They hand the Demons their 4th loss as the Bulldogs prevail in a thriller by 3 points.
Bulldogs through and through. Bulldogs fight and Bulldogs roar. We give our very best. 'Cause you can't beat the boys of the Bulldog breed. We're the team of the mighty West.
The Western Bulldogs prevail by 3 points in front of 29,708 fans. 14,993 to the Demons, 13,1290. The Dogs moved to 6 wins and 5 losses. Their 2nd win in the last 9 weeks after they have been on the slide in recent weeks, but it keeps their season alive. They led by 10 points at quarter time, got out by 33 points in the 2nd quarter, by 2 points at 3-quarter time. There were 5 lead changes in the end. Joel Frazier's goal proved the winner.
Red, white and blue. We come out snarling. Bulldogs through and through. Bulldogs fight and Bulldogs roar. We give our very best. 'Cause you can't beat the boys of the Bulldog breed. We're the team of the mighty West. 'Cause you can't beat the boys of the Bulldog breed. The team of the mighty
The Bulldogs won their opening 4 games before going on to lose 5 of their next 6. Their 2 wins have come by 2 points over Port Adelaide and over the Demons by 3 points. But at this stage, with a growing injury crisis, they'll take them any way they can come at the moment. For the Bulldogs, 3 goals to Ed Richards, 2 goals to Bontempelli, West, Jones and Norton, while individual goals to Croft, Fraser and Lewis. While for the Demons, 2 goals to Harvey Langford, 2 goals to Sharp, individuals to Turner, Gawn, Tholstrup, Langdon, Laurie, Rivers, Petty, Chandler and Cross. The Demons took the lead by 4 points at the 4-minute mark of the final term. The Bulldogs took it back after the goal to Ed Richards by 2 points. That was at the 9-minute mark, and then the Demons took it back at the 21st-minute mark through Ed Langdon before Joel Fraser kicked what proved to be the winner at the 24-minute mark. The Dogs are 6-5. Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy, an entertaining afternoon at the footy where both sides felt the pressure, and in the end it became an absolute tooth-and-nail contest.
Yeah, absolutely. Spot on. It's a great call. And that was the moment, wasn't it? That was the afternoon. It was tooth and nail. It was a great fight early in the contest. The Dogs got away to a bit of a lead and we thought how far, and then the D's showed their mettle, and then it was just on like Donkey Kong in that second half. It was brilliant to watch. A great contest. In the end, Bob, can you get your take on this? The Dogs were better. They were tougher. I reckon they were tougher in that, particularly that last quarter when the game was on the line and they had to find a way to get their noses in front, their very flat Bulldog nose in front. I reckon they were tough, and you go through the numbers and it sort of backs it up too. They were +4 contested possession, smashed them around clearance 15-6 after being dominated early in the day. 15-6, 4-1 out of the centre. Inside 50s, 19-8 on the back of it. They were just tougher. I reckon their ability to finish this game off will give Bevo enormous ammunition to say to this group, there's no reason why we should have coughed up the games we've coughed up, particularly the way it's happened in the last couple of weeks. But this might be the moment, might be the game that gets them back on track.
It felt like their big names, their midfielders, Richards, Bontempelli, Fraser got on board late. Who am I missing in there? There's a couple of Sanders. I thought Sanders was fantastic today. He was huge, but particularly that last quarter, they probably just won that arm wrestle. Well, it wasn't probably. They did. They were tougher. They were strong over a lot of ground balls. Gee, it was a ripping game of football. It was teetering on the edge there. You know, the what ifs of what happens if Jack Steele is able to get his boot to ball and Riley West isn't able to make that chase down tackle.
Yeah,
they're those moments, you know, that define an afternoon like this one. So Melbourne lose absolutely no fans today in the way they kept at it and pushed and almost got over the line. And Joel Frazier, who answered the challenge, he had a reasonably poor day, gets that match-winning goal, that match-winning moment to seal the afternoon and push his name forward as a future leader of this footy club.
So the Bulldogs claw home in a game where they just had to win. They now move from 11 spots to 9th on the AFL ladder. They're 6 wins and 5 losses. They have Collingwood, Hawthorn and Adelaide in the next 3 weeks. And Luke Beveridge spoke about Tim English hopefully being 1, maybe 2 weeks away. They'll take a cautious approach with his concussion, but the injury to Sam Darcy, they've missed so many over recent weeks, and they're just trying to get a game back that resembles more of the Bulldogs in the first 4 weeks. And you touched on Bob, Melbourne will lose no admirers, but they're a little off today from what we've become used to.
Well, you look at their first quarter, and it looks nothing like their second half.
Yeah.
In terms of their connection amongst each other, their spacing, their appetite to tackle and just rip into the contest, but their ball movement as well. The first quarter and a half even, it was wide and it was on the heels and it was slow and much more suited to a drizzly day at the MCG than under the roof at Docklands. But they did adjust, and that, again, we already talked about. But that's a big tick to be able to make these adjustments on the fly and then implement them against quality opposition. You know, full marks for their ability to buy into Stephen King's message.
So the Doggies 14-9-93 to Melbourne 13-12-90 in front of 29,708 fans. Ed Richards back to his best this afternoon, 30 disposals and 3 goals. Joel Fraser, who Bob Murphy called early, he finished in the final term with 8 disposals and the go-ahead goal in the last quarter. He finished with 18 for the match, including 7 score involvements. So the Dogs arrest their recent form and try and keep their season alive. Just the moments throughout the game. Artie Jones at the start of the final quarter. You mentioned Riley West, who gave away 2 50-metre penalties throughout the afternoon. They got that great rundown chase in the final quarter. That fluctuations for the fans watching on this afternoon. You had all sorts of moments, didn't you?
It did, but it also, and you called it half, but Aaron Norton, who had a bit of a mixed day, he dropped a couple that he would usually snaffle, but he had a couple of really, really important moments. But just his presence of mind deep in the last quarter when, you know, minds are frayed, guys lose their composure.
Yeah.
And he could have easily had a reckless shot at goal or just a, hack it to the top of the goal square, but his thinking was so clear and sharp, just spun to the middle, and Fraser was the one who'd pushed into that dangerous space. And it was those moments of composure that were partnered with the toughness that you alluded to was the difference in the end, as small as it was.
Well, it was a largely frantic second half, wasn't it?
It was.
And we talked about the chili flakes all over the stadium because it did spice up and it did get really hot really quickly. So that somebody had to stand up. You had to be able to think clearly, and particularly late in the game when it's all on the line and you've got the ball in your hands. How many times have we seen players in that situation just turn around and just blaze it towards goal and kick it out in the full or kick a point and the other team gets the ball back really quickly and gives them a chance to score? But just, great awareness, great experience and presence of mind to just look inboard. It's a really simple skill that in pressure situations a lot of players can't apply, but really impressive stuff from Aaron Norton. And I thought the way they fought, particularly in that last 3 or 4 minutes, even before the Langdon goal, and that was a setback because that was cost them the lead at the time. But they'd fought really strongly as a group, and they were hard, and they were working the ball out nicely enough under enormous pressure. I just had a feeling that if they get a chance to get their hands on the footy at some stage, that they'd put a bit more pressure on the D's offensively. I mean, it came on the back of that amazing tackle from Riley West, and he'll be lauded from his coach and his teammates for doing that.
He was important today,
moment.
West.
Yeah,
he was really important.
Well, he was almost All-Australian last year, wasn't he? A fantastic year last year. He's probably been a bit off that this year. There's a few of the Dogs that have been in that boat where they haven't quite met the standards of last year. He probably fits the bill, but geez, he had some moments today, something he'd prefer not to have from the 50-metre penalty perspective, but he was really important. He's a really fine young player.
9 goals for Riley West this season after beating a career best 39 last season. The Bulldogs win by 3 points. Let's head down to Lauren Borden.
Yeah, slow clap for the Western Bulldogs as they come in here, but plenty of big smiles on their faces. You normally do see a pretty happy team when they've won, but they are ecstatic as they come in and get ready to sing their song.
Of the West, woo! Red, white and blue, woo! We'll come out snarling.
maybe a bit of a routine singing of the song there, but they were pretty exhausted after the second half in particular. Everyone had their phones out filming that, whether it was the players that weren't playing today or the friends and family here. Everyone wanted to capture that on video.
Thank you to Lauren Borden. We'll bring you some reaction from the Bulldogs, Cam. 14-9-93 to Melbourne 13-12-90. The Bulldogs back on the winners list. They moved to 6 wins and 5 losses. They moved from 11th spot on the AFL ladder to 9th, while the Demons, they suffer their 4th loss of the season. So they're 7 wins and 4 losses. The Riley West chase down on Jack Steele in the middle of the ground. The Harvey Langford drop mark. There were moments throughout the match that ended up deciding the result for the Bulldogs. They'll take it in which any way they can get it at the moment, having lost 5 of their last 7 matches. They're back on the winners list.
Yeah, Luke Beveridge would be proud of his boys, I reckon, today. I reckon we'll hear some real pride. I love the way he speaks after really big wins, really emotional wins, and needed wins for his team. Got a feeling this press conference might be pretty good to listen to if you're a Doggies fan, or if you're a footy fan that wants to hear a coach praise his players and talk lovingly. I reckon that this afternoon you might have that moment.
Well, we talked about the Demons sort of missing the jump a little bit stylistically. But
just hold fire, Bob, because we might go straight down to the Bulldogs rooms. I think Lauren Borden's ready to go, Loz.
I am. Thanks, Clint. I'm down in the Bulldogs rooms with Artie Jones. It's wonderful to chat to you after the win. I mean, take me through the game. You're up by 33 points. Then Melbourne gets in front in the last term. You work your way back in front. It was a spectacular game to watch. What was it like from your perspective?
I mean, hey, boys, how are we? But
good.
But
we're good, Artie.
Yeah, firstly, I mean, it was nice to be up half time. I didn't know if we were comfortable enough, but yeah, for them to come back and take the lead in the last, it was kind of scary, kind of nerve-wracking, but yeah, we fought hard to the nail and yeah, got the job done.
The game went up a notch late in that third quarter. You could sense the heat. Could you feel that as well?
Oh, 100%. I mean, when the crowd gets into it, obviously the next touch is brought right up in emotions and your skills. So, yeah, you can definitely feel the crowd start to erupt.
I'll send you upstairs to Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy in just a moment. I just wanted to look back on last week for a second, the dance that you did pre-match against Carlton with Jack Eisen and Zach Williams. Can you just take me through how that was organised? It was an incredible moment, and it was so good to see the two clubs come together.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I got a last-minute invite Friday night, and they basically sent me a script, and they said, this is what we're doing. We're going to walk around, collect the players, and then we're going to do a dance. And so feel free to express yourself and have a good dance. So, I mean, I was dancing when I was a young kid, so to get an opportunity like that, yeah, I took it with both hands and showed what I could do.
Pulled it off beautifully with the last-minute invite. Obviously, the second round of Sir Doug Nicholls today. I'll send you upstairs now for some more questions from Bob Murphy and Daniel Harford.
Artie, it's Bob Murphy, mate. Congratulations on a great win and a win full of heart and soul and your performance as well. You must feel awfully proud on Sir Doug Nicholls' round to have an impact like you did today and then a spectacular win that goes down to the wire.
Thanks, Bob. Yeah, I mean, man, I'm just trying to keep my spot and keep fighting for positions and do what I can do to help the team. And, yeah, I mean, Sir Doug Nicholls just makes it that extra a little bit special. And so to be here, yeah, I mean, it's incredible to play with these bunch of boys, and I loved every moment of it.
Well, when you dance as well as you do, Artie, we would have preferred you kicked 14 goals today rather than just the 2, but you were quite spectacular. Artie, just a straight-up footy question, just to my eye, because as soon as you arrived at the club, you've got the speed and the skills and the game nous, but it looks to me that your AFL body, you've really matured and put a lot of work into that side of your game and professionalism. Have you feeling that on the field this year, that you're much more physically capable?
Oh, 100%. I mean, over time you slowly start to get better and you slowly start to learn the craft of the game, and I feel like still haven't clocked the game, but I feel like I'm in a good spot now where I can slowly make my impacts and exactly my speed, my athleticity. Athleticity, I think that's the word. But yeah, I mean, I can make an impact and do what I can do, and so I'll try and help the team as much as I can.
It's Daniel Harford, mate. Well done on your performance in the boys. I mean, it was a tough win. Further to Bob's question, though, I've been watching you closely since the pre-season game at home there for the Doggies when you kicked 5 against the Hawks, and I thought, oh, hang on a second, this might be the real breakout moment for this young fella. Is it as much a physical issue as much as a comfortability issue, like being comfortable at the level and knowing you belong?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, the more time you spend, the more you slowly start feeling confident and you feel like you're starting to belong. And with these bunch of boys, I feel like I belong. So just got to keep growing. And I mean, this is a step in the right direction. Still got a few things to work on, but yeah, I'm looking forward and feeling really happy.
And the responsibility that comes with being a player that's emerging. I mean, you lost a few key pillars in that area of the ground, that front third of the ground at the Doggies. And Cody Waitman still, we haven't seen him for a long time. So it's a pretty important role you're playing. Is that level of responsibility, have you enjoyed that?
100%. I don't feel like it's a single person responsibility. I feel like it's a team approach, and I mean, I guess I'm just in that lucky spot where it's just that's my role, and so any way I can help the team win, I mean, I'm just doing what I can do.
So there hasn't been a lot of winning in the last 4 or 5 weeks. So coming into this one, 2 performances against Port Adelaide and Carlton, who hadn't been overly strong themselves, and two losses. So what was Bevo's message and theme leading into this week?
Connectivity, especially over the last 2 weeks. I mean, we should have won against Carlton, didn't. And so, yeah, it's just about that connectivity piece as a group. And, yeah, we really tapped into that Indigenous culture and showed how connective the First Nations people are. And so Bevo kind of went with that approach. And yeah, I mean, I think it touched the boys in a good spot and hit the hearts pretty well. So I think we made an impact.
Did you have a favourite moment in that final quarter? Was it the Riley West run-down chase, Aaron Norton in the air, some of the desperate forward acts?
It was, I mean, yeah, you got those two, and then you got James O'Donnell with a big spoil, saves the game. What else? You had Rory Love just stood up in the last quarter. I mean, the whole team put in an effort, and, yeah, wouldn't want it any other way.
What's your petrol like in the final quarter? Do you feel like you've still got plenty in the tank? Are you the type of player that wants the ball in your hands and to try and take on some of the defenders?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I didn't choose the right timings today, but yeah, I definitely feel like I'm built for the moment and I can make the most of my opportunities, and yeah.
Yeah, we think you can as well. Finally, as we let you go, it's the Doug Nicholls round. What would you like to see happen in the future to try and embrace this for First Nations players and those who have contributed so much to the game? Is there any ideas you'd like to see that are embraced?
Yeah, I mean, I love that the Dreamtime game gets so much highlight and how big and impactful it is. I'd love for it to be all, I guess, 12 rounds. Oh, no, not 12 rounds, like all 12 games over the 2 weeks. So, like, I mean, just really be important to celebrate our culture and get more around it. So, I mean, as a First Nation person, this is the one game I want to play and obviously get a win. But, I mean, I couldn't be more proud of my boys.
No, absolutely. Congratulations on the win this afternoon. Thanks for joining us on ABC Sport.
Thanks, boys. Have a good time.
Artie Jones, who was one of the key contributors, he kicked 2 goals in the second quarter and able to put voice to what the significance of the round, Sir Doug Nicholls round across 2 weeks, means to him and First Nations players. Matt Clinch and Ben Cameron, Daniel Harford and Bob Murphy, the Bulldogs 3-point winners, 14-9-93 to Melbourne 13-12-90. They've got some injury challenges still. We know Bailey Williams is out. We know Laith Vandermeer is out. Cody Waitman, we hope, is closer to a return. Tom Liberatore, question mark as to what his future is going to be through concussion. Tim English is obviously a week or 2 away, and Sam Darcy's season is done. But for Luke Beveridge trying to re-emerge with some form of identity, some sort of unity in terms of what this team can achieve in the second half of the season, they just need to try and get a few things clicking. And it felt like today their pressure was back to the level that we hadn't seen in recent weeks. Is there anything else you'd take away from the Bulldogs' improvement today compared to recent weeks?
I loved the electricity of the ball movement, but the speed of the handball. And look, Melbourne adjusted in the second half, and they were able to put more pressure on it. But I think one of the signatures of Luke Beveridge's teams when they're at their best is that rapid fire speed handball, up, and then it's out and it's in the clear. And so the quality of their entries goes through the roof. And there were just some signs today that part of the game was coming back. And there is flexibility. And Jordan Croft is one of those players that you don't want to put too heavy an expectation because he is still finding his way in the game. But there's this beautiful exploration of what could this young man become. I almost fell off my chair when you said he was 202 centimetres. I thought it was one of your signature gags, Half. And I thought it was a good one. And then when you fact checked and said, no, you're 202, I was stunned.
Well, the reason for that is Sam Darcy is 208. He looks 208 centimetres, but Jordan Croft's still growing into his body.
Yeah.
But you can see what the Bulldogs are hoping he'll become.
Well, and there's this land of possibilities, and Jordan Croft with his athletic profile and Luke Beveridge being, I would say, the most adventurous coach in the league in terms of exploring a player's position. A lot of other coaches would go, no, we're going to make him a midfielder, or he's a centre-half back, so that's where he is.
Yep.
And that's where he'll be for 5 years. Luke Beveridge is much more inclined to try it around in different spots, so curious to see where a player like Jordan Croft ends up, and then there's other players like Joel Frazier and Riley West who are emerging as well. So there's some promising signs, but they're just those the outs. The English out is a huge one for them. Lobb was serviceable today, maybe even more than serviceable. He's probably pretty solid, but he's a big one.
That was the stat that we expected Melbourne were going to be able to dominate across the afternoon, and in the end, he competed pretty well, Rory Lobb. So Max Gawn had 42 hit-outs to Rory Lobb's 24. Max Heath had 8 and Jordan Croft 1. But the hit-outs to advantage was Gawn 14 to Lobb 7. So maybe not quite as dominant as what we thought it might have been, and yet the clearances
45
were the way to the Bulldogs, 45 to 36. So they had a plan, and Ed Richards led the way with so much this afternoon. He had 30 disposals, 773 metres gained, 10 clearances, 10 inside 50s, 9 score involvements, and 3 goals.
It's a good day. He might feature in Bob's votes, I reckon, shortly.
Jeez, that's put me in a tough spot, Half. That's a real hospital handball from you.
John, a couple of minutes.
Especially after you didn't go with me on the breeze that's down in that forward pocket. I just feel like that was a bit of a cheap shot. But I'm up for it. I'll rise to the occasion.
John, a minute to ponder some votes. Bailey Dale finished with 31 disposals. Sanders 31. Richards we touched on. And Bontempelli 29. While for the Ds, Bowie with 27. Pickett with 25. 6 clearances. 2 behinds for Cozzy. Sparrow with 23. Langdon with 22. On the SMS, 0437 774 774. Dave in Lonnie says the nose one around the Bulldogs was a good one. Great call of the D's Bulldogs game. Murph and Half and the Chili. That's from Teddy in Hobart.
The Chili.
Great tackle by West. What was Jack Steele thinking? Norton was superb in the last quarter. Great to have Half on the wireless. That's from Cal in Watsonia. And
did Carol just say it was good to have Half on the radio, and that was it?
That was
stop.
it. Yeah, Cal's a Daniel Harford fan.
You looking for something else?
Oh, thanks, Carol.
You got Lorraine in the pocket with the
That's
wind.
true.
That's true, actually. That is true.
The Bulldogs,
Team Lorraine.
3-point winners over the Demons. The votes for the ABC Footballer of the Year, Bob Murphy.
Tough to give votes today. There with some players who were left off this list who can feel rightly a bit jilted, and they can knock on Daniel Harford's door because he handballed them over to me. So a lot of apologies, but they shall remain nameless. Almost want to give myself one vote for pointing out the breeze in that forward pocket, but I won't.
Didn't seem to affect. Who was that man who had the big left foot snap?
Lewis.
Yep. Didn't seem to affect him.
No, he used the breeze to his advantage. One vote went to Jake Bowie, who I thought when the Demons were struggling to get the message of just go more direct, that it was Max Gawn in the middle, but it was really Jake Bowie as well who used his speed, but it was the direction and the authority with which that he got involved. He had 27 touches, and he was really influential. 2 votes. I went with Riley Sanders, who it was a big day for Riley Sanders, and he's nudged out a couple of absolute All-Australian superstars for votes today. But Riley Sanders had 30 touches, and he had 3 tackles, and he was given the responsibility also late in that last quarter of taking care of Cozzy Pickett. So you can see the level of his status within that Bulldogs team is growing week by week. So Riley Sanders, 2 votes.
Equal game high, 10 score involvements for
There you
Riley.
go. And 3 votes to Ed Richards. So when Ed Richards plays well, he is the human abacus because his numbers are massive. He kicked 3 goals. He had 30 touches. He had a mountain of score involvements. And he was the best man on the ground.
3 to Richards, 2 to Sanders, 1 to Bowie from Bob Murphy in the ABC Footballer of the Year.
That's a rock-solid panel of votes there. You've done a great job.
Thank you.
The Western Bulldogs, 3-point winners over Nam, 14,993 to the Ds, 13,1290 in front of 29,708 fans. Ed Richards finished with 3 goals. Bontempelli, West, Jones and Norton with 2, while for the Ds, 2 goals to Sharp and 2 goals to Langford. So the Demons, 7 wins and 4 losses. They take on GWS, which all of a sudden becomes a more interesting game in Alice Springs next Sunday. They have Collingwood and Essendon in the weeks to follow. So a couple of winnable ones potentially in there if they can find their level. While the Western Bulldogs are 6 and 5, they move from 11th to 9th spot on the ladder. They have the Magpies, Hawthorn, and Adelaide in the next 3 weeks.
They'd walk in confident against the Magpies next week, I reckon, with a few injuries for them and
Take
the way
out
they played
Jamie
today.
Elliott, take out Darcy Moore.
Yep. They'd walk in pretty confident, I reckon. If they play like they did today, there's no reason why they can't compete every week. They were terrific.
That Collingwood game next week, just going to have a look whether that is.
Because we'll be in Alice, won't we? We'll be covering that game.
We're going to be covering that one. The Bulldogs-Collingwood game is here at Docklands on Saturday nights. That's interesting whether it's Docklands or the G.
Well, that helps.
It does help, given they do love playing here. The surprise result today, in terms of margin, the Giants by 78 points over the Brisbane Lions. In the end, it was 26-10, 166 to Brisbane, 13-10, 88. The Giants with a highest ever VFL AFL score of 14-2 to Brisbane's 3 behinds in the third quarter. The Giants led by 6 points at quarter time, by 6 points at half time, and then by 89 points at three-quarter time. Here are the thoughts of the Brisbane Lions coach, Chris Fagan, in his post-match press conference.
No, it was a tight game until half-time. Sort of both teams had their moments. I certainly didn't see it coming at half-time. When it did, nothing we tried worked. They played an unbelievable third quarter. I mean, it's when you look at the scores, you go, we lost the first quarter by 6, and even second quarter, we win the last quarter, but we lose the third quarter by 83 points. We got smashed everywhere, like at the contest, ball movement. We couldn't stop it. They just controlled the game, unfortunately. And to be truthful, our third quarters have been a problem to us for the last 3 weeks. For some reason or other, these quirky things sort of pop up. But, we had a good lead against Carlton a few weeks ago and squandered a fair bit of that in the third quarter. Geelong got us in the third quarter last week, and it happened again today. So need to have a talk to the group and work out what's happening there. I mean, we tried putting player behind the ball. We tried a whole lot of things. But when you can't win the footy and you can't get possession of it, this game's pretty hard to play. And that's been the pattern for the last 3 weeks in third quarters. We've just been beaten in the contest and in the clearance.
Chris Fagan, the coach of the Brisbane Lions, following an 78-point victory for the Giants over Brisbane. Spoke with Cameron Ling on AFL Sunday earlier today about the 4 sides he thought were the best teams in it. He had Fremantle, Sydney, Geelong and Brisbane ahead of Hawthorn at the moment. 2 losses all of a sudden for the Lions. How much does that challenge your thoughts on the reigning premiers and where they sit at the moment? 2 losses to Geelong and now the Giants.
I think they're going through a phase. It looks like they're going through
Something's
a phase
up.
for whatever reason, yeah.
Today's weird.
Because they've been clinical. They've been a team you could trust. They wouldn't always go their way, but you could trust them to play the right way and be a really clinical team. They've been a long way from that. And to cough up 14 goals in a quarter, like just that alone is enough, let alone being comprehensively beaten in any stretch of the imagination. It doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense, that quarter of footy.
I give clubs one aberration a year. You can have one where just for whatever reason the planets don't align, you put your shoes on the wrong feet, it's just not happening for you that day. Because that result today is just so strange and inexplicable. It almost defies some sort of deeper analysis. It's just like, that's just odd, strange. Put that one in the bin.
Can I just give you one around it as well? So GWS lost to the West Coast Eagles last week, with the Wooden Spooners from last year.
So West Coast are better than Brisbane?
No, Brisbane are the reigning premiers. It's the second time this century that a team has lost to the Wooden Spooners from the previous year and then beaten the reigning premiers the next week. So 2017, Geelong lost to Essendon in round 8, then beat the Western Bulldogs in round 9. Even that has an asterisk because that was the Essendon 34 year in 2016. So they got the 34 back. So they were kind of a false Wooden Spooner from the year before. So they are flaky at GWS. I don't know how to read them.
Gee, I knew you had something good because you had your head down, you were beavering away. There was no eye contact during my votes. There was nothing. Cameron's put his feet up for the afternoon, but then you deliver that. That is just chef's kiss.
He's still got a podcast to come with Daniel Harford. You can hear on your way to work tomorrow, the ABC AFL Daily Podcast. The matches for round 12 kicks off next Thursday night. St Kilda taking on Hawthorn from Docklands. The Blues all of a sudden with 2 wins under Josh Fraser take on Geelong on Friday night. The Saturday fixture is Sydney up against the Tigers, the Brisbane Lions against Fremantle, which we touched on at the Gabba, and Collingwood and the Western Bulldogs from Docklands on Saturday night. We'll be covering Melbourne taking on GWS from Alice Springs, and the West Coast Eagles take on the Bombers in the final match of round 12. It is the first of the bye week, so 4 clubs, Adelaide, North Melbourne, Port Adelaide and the Gold Coast Suns have the bye.
How are we at the byes?
I hate the byes.
Feels a bit like that, doesn't it?
I hate goodbyes.
They're all bad byes. That's the problem.
So Fremantle on top of the ladder. They've won 10 straight. They're 10 wins and 1 loss. Sydney in second spot, 9-2. Geelong in third, 8-3. Hawth a further game back, 7 wins, 3 losses and half a game there, of course, with the draw. The Suns 7-4. Melbourne now 7-4 make up the top 6. Adelaide in 7th. They're 6-5, as are the Brisbane Lions, the Bulldogs, and the Pies are in 10th spot, 5-5 and a draw. St Kilda 11th, 5-6, and then they join the Giants, North Melbourne, while Port Adelaide in 13th spot, 3-8, alongside the Blues, the Eagles, and then the Tigers 2-9, and the Bombers 1-10. The week for Brad Scott starts this week. There's going to be lots of questions around the Bombers. It's going to be a big couple of weeks. Thanks for your company on a Sunday afternoon. The Bulldogs, winners by 3 points.